Okay, hi guys, I think I'm live now. If you can see me, if you can hear me, do let me know that everything is good. Then we'll start the session today. Okay. Yeah, please like the stream, guys. The target for likes for this stream is, like always, 100 likes. I think 100 likes is a good enough number. I feel happy that, okay, at least 100 students have liked what we are doing. That will motivate us to continue doing these kind of things till CAT. I think the last couple of weeks I was actually traveling, so I couldn't conduct the Saturday session and somebody else was doing it. But from now till the examination, every Saturday, from 2 to 4 p.m., we will be doing the sessions. If I'm teaching, it will be either Quant or LRDI. If Sayali is teaching, it will be verbal or LRDI. Sometimes she might do Quant, but it is basically we will be splitting it. So Saturday 2 to 4 p.m. Definitely do remember every Saturday from now till CAT. One other thing I want to tell you is the notification for CAT is expected in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So now is the right time for you to really zone in, be very focused and put in your best effort. This time will never come back. I think this is something that your parents also will tell you. But as somebody who has seen this happen multiple times, I want to tell you that the amount of effort that you put in this coming, say, 4 months is going to definitely have a lot of impact on your entire career. I don't want to like put unnecessary pressure or stress. I just want to again remind you of the importance of these remaining 4 months. So if there is anything in your mind or in your life which you feel is chaotic or is wasting your mental space, I would say stay away from those kind of things. Focus mostly on whatever is in your hands. Try to keep your mind as calm as possible. Don't have too many distractions. Use these 4 months very well. These 4 months, I would say, are basically the clutch time, and I want you to give in your best. At the end of the examination, I want you to feel very proud of yourself. I want you to think that, okay, these 4 months I put in a lot of effort, and after putting that effort, this is the result, and then you'll be happy with the result, whatever might be the result. If you put in effort, that itself will give you a lot of satisfaction. And I would again remind you that these 4 months are going to be very important. Don't feel too much pressure, don't get into these stressful loops, but at least recognize the importance and don't waste time. Having said that, this is basically the LRDI Marathon. We'll be solving 4 sets. Each set we are giving 12 minutes, and after that we will solve. The first 2 sets I will teach, and the last 2 sets Sayali will teach. We will get started. These are all, I would say, easy to medium. One thing I wanted to tell you is with respect to the CAT Quant Rush. This is a very popular feature on Cracku. It is taken every day by hundreds of students. The total number of Quant Rushes is, I think, maybe close to 1 lakh in the last, say, 1 year or so. Every day we get so many people who are taking the Quant Rush. This is a very good way in which you can solve a lot of questions quickly, and it is also fun. Normally for all the live sessions also, I try to do 1 Quant Rush before starting. I'll try to do it quickly. Please select at least 1 topic. So you can actually select which topic it is. Okay, if you want to do arithmetic, you can select arithmetic. If you want to do algebra, you can select algebra. If you want to do both, you can select both. You can select geometry, anything. Today, because I don't have a pen and a paper, I thought I'll solve number systems, because I think I have a decent intuition with respect to number systems, and I'll try to quickly solve them. So I'm just clicking on it, and after that you will get this. The question is, how many factors of 2400 are not factors of 3600? That is the question. So basically we have to do the prime factorization for both. I'll see if I use the pen and paper, I'll just explain it. How many factors of 2400 are not factors of 3600? This is basically the question. Do the prime factorization of both. 2400 will be, I think it is 2 cube, 100 is 2 square into 5 square. So this is 2 to the power 5 into 5 square. This is 800 into 3. I think this is 2400, and 3600 will be, 36 is 2 square into 3 square. So 3600 will be 2 to the power 4 into 5 square into 3 square. I might make some mistakes, I'm doing it very quickly, but I think this is the prime factorization. So if you're looking for a factor of 2400, which is not a factor of 3600, what should be the power of, this is actually tough. Okay, first I'll calculate the total number of factors of 2400. The total number of factors of 2400 will be 6 into 3 into 2, which is equal to 36. 36 is the total number of factors. So if you're looking at the options, it is not option E, option 3 for sure. And how many are factors of both? How many are factors of 2400 and 3600? For that, the power of 4, power of 2 can be, I think, 5 values. It can be 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 square, 2 cube, 2 to the power 4. Power of 5 can be 3, it can be 0 or 1 or 2. And power of 3 can be only 2. I think this is 30. So I'm assuming the answer is 6, but there is a good scope for mistakes. Yeah, okay, that is fine. The LCM of two fractions, a by b and 8 by 15 is 8. Which of the following can be the value of a by 8? A by b. Okay. Again, basically it would mean that if you're looking at the LCM of fractions, you have to take the LCM of the numerator and divide it by the HCF of the denominators. So basically LCM of the numerator will be definitely 8, a multiple of 8. If I think we can go by the options, I think that will be the best. 4 by, it won't be option A because 4 by 15 and 8 by 15, the LCM will be 8 by 15. 16 by 3 and 8 by 15, the LCM will be 16 by 3. 2 by 15 and 8 by 15, the LCM will be 8 by 15, so it has to be 4 by 7. So basically this is an interesting way in which you can solve it, and you will also keep getting like this fire and getting more points, which is a fun thing, and you have 3 chances. This is the last question. After that I will go ahead and solve the LRDI. But basically I have a lot of fun in solving quant rushes. I actually find it very interesting, and I also solve a lot of them. So definitely do check out the Cracku quant rush. If anybody can solve it, I don't know whether you can see it properly or not. If you can see it, try to solve it and try to tell me the answer, guys. Actually, I will, whoever gives me the answer in the chat, I'm going to put whatever is the answer. So put some effort. I'll give you 30 seconds. Try to solve it. A function f of n is defined as f of n is 11 to the power n plus 13 to the power n. What is the remainder when f of 105 is divided by 144? I'm just doing some quant rush for fun. Whoever gives me the answer, I'm going to put it. I'm not going to solve it. Just for fun, I think I can do it for 2 or 3. So let me see who is going to help me out. A function of f of n is defined as f of n is 11 to the power n plus 13 to the power n. I will try to see if I can increase the font. I don't know whether I can or not because this is a web page. Okay. A function f of n is defined as f of n is 11 to the power n plus 13 to the power n. What is the remainder when f of 105 is divided by 144? Can you guys solve it? Otherwise, I can try to solve it mentally. 144 is 12 square. This is 11 to the power n is 12 minus 1, and 13 to the power n is 13 is 12 plus 1. I think you have to do something over there to get the answer. See if you can solve it. If anybody gives me an answer, I will put it up. Otherwise, I'll try to solve it on my own after 30 seconds. Come on, guys, help me out. 96. Smarty Uncool. 96. Okay, guys, if anybody else is not going to like contradict it, I'm going to put 96 in 15 seconds. Okay, 2 of them go ahead. Naman Saraf also. I'm going to go for it, man. Oh, it's wrong. Okay, we'll do one more. Let us see who is going to help me in this. A number n has 27 factors. Which of the following cannot be the number of factors of n square? Yeah, this is a good question. A number n has 27 factors. Which of the following cannot be the number of factors of n square? Many of you helped me with the earlier one, but I marked it 96, which was wrong. Try to solve this. Again, tell me the answer and I'm going to mark it. We have only 2 minutes, so I'm assuming this is not a tough question. A number n has 27 factors. Which of the following cannot be the number of factors of n square? So it can be if it is 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2. So 125 can be one of the factors, that much I can tell you. Sound is low, sir. Okay, I'm trying to talk loud, man. 144 if somebody mentioned. Okay, I'll wait for somebody else to confirm it. After that, I'm going to put it. But I know that 125 is not the answer. And it is 53 also is not the answer. These two I can rule out actually. 125 and 53 I can definitely rule out. No, 53 is definitely not the answer. Actually, 27 is 9 into 3, so that is 8 into 2. So 16 into 4. So 17 into 5. 85 also is not the correct answer. I think 144 is the correct answer, man. Yeah, I'm sure of it. Okay, this is the last question, guys. Thanks a lot. Many of you have actually helped me. The number 37 to the power 371 and minus 26 to the power 371 is divisible by. I know the answer for this. Try to solve it. This is an easy question. These kind of questions I want you to solve. The number 37 to the power 371 minus 26 to the power 371 is divisible by which one? I know the answer for this, but I'll just explain certain things so that it will help you also. So if you have a to the power n minus b to the power n, this is always divisible by a minus b. Whatever might be the value of a, b and n. For example, if you are having, I think this should be true. Yeah, a square, a cube, a to the power. Yeah, so if you are having 15 to the power 65 minus 9 to the power 65, this will be divisible by 15 minus 9, which is 6. So similarly, in this particular case, you have 37 to the power 371 minus 26 to the power 371. The power of both of them is the same. So this has, oh no, I didn't mark it. I was just explaining. Yeah, many of you got it 11, correct? Very good. So I already lost 2 lives. This is the last life. Try to solve it, guys. Last 2 digits of the multiplication. Last one of the digit has to be 0. Okay, this try to solve and tell me. Yeah, all of you got 11, correct? So it has to be divisible by. We have only 1.5 minutes, man. Somebody try to help me out in this. Last 2 digits of the multiplication. 122 into 123 into 125 into 127 into 129. This will be, last digit is obviously 0. That I think everybody can figure out because of 25 into 22. But the one before it, I'm not sure. I can't think of any tricks to solve it. 50. Okay, 2 people are saying it's 50. Can I go ahead and put 50? Aryan and Chandralekha are saying 50. Confirm, guys. One more person confirm. I'm going to put it as 50. I have 50 seconds left. 2 people confirm 50. I think for this kind of a question, you can use the calculator also to solve it. Somebody saying 20. 40. Alright, guys, have unity, man. Somebody figure it out and tell me. Or I want a bunch of answers which are the same one. Then I'm going to trust you and put it. We have only 30 seconds left, so be quick. 3 people have said 50. Amardeep. Marty Uncle is saying 20. Which one shall I put? 50 or 20? Okay, I'm getting a lot of 50, so I'm going to go with 50. Yeah, 50 is correct, man. Thank you. Okay, this is, again, we have 2 lives gone. This also has only 2 minutes. If a number has 8 factors, what is the maximum number of factors that the cube of the number can have? A number has 8 factors. What is the maximum number of factors that the cube will have? So there are multiple cases, right? It can be 8 into 1, so that is 7. So 1 is 22. Or 4 into 2, that is 12 into 6. So 13 into 7. 91 is 1. Or it is 222. So 666. No, not 666. I think 91 is the answer. Just confirm, guys. A number has 8 factors. So 4 into 2. So that will be, wait. It's not 4 into 2. 4 into 2 is 3 into 1. 3 into 1 will become 9 into 3. 9 into 3 is 10 into 4, 40. So 40 is not correct. So it is 222. So 111. Cube is 333. So it is 444. I'm going with 64 for this. I think 64 should be okay. Yeah. Shivam Yadav has said, I think 64 is fine, man. Again, I'm going to trust and go ahead with it because not a lot of time is there. Okay, guys, this is only 1 minute is left, man. Try to solve it, guys. This is seeming to be tough. And the number of positive integers in the range 12 to 40 such that the product n minus 1 into ... is not divisible by n. This has something to do with prime numbers. It is possible that we are looking at prime numbers for this. How many prime numbers are there between 12 and 40? 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37. I'm going to go with 7 for this. The number of positive integers in the range 12 to 40 in which this product is not divisible by n. When this product is not divisible by n, if I remember correctly, most likely n has to be a prime number. Because if n can be broken down into simple factors, some of the factors will get matched. So n has to be a prime number. I'm going with 7, which is the number of prime factors between 12 and 40. Okay, what is the remainder when 3 to the power 333? Yeah, Akash, Aryan and Fearless, well done. What is the, when 3 to the power 333 is divided by 11, the remainder is? Guys, we have less than 1.5 minutes. Try to solve it quickly. Yeah, many of you gave me 7. Thank you guys, I marked it. 3 to the power 333 is divided by 11. Just try to find a power of 3 which will leave a remainder of 1 when divided with 11. So 3, 9, I think 243 will work. 3, 9, 27, 81, 243. That is 3 to the power 5. 3 to the power 5 will leave a remainder of 1 when divided by 11. That is 243. So 3 to the power 330 will leave a remainder of 1. So we have to just divide 3 cube with 11 and the answer will be 5. I'm going to mark 5, man. Yeah, Akshay Jain, well done. You did it well. So this is 5. Okay, this is a tough question. I think a lot of time. This I think you can try to solve it. Somebody please solve it and tell me. This involves like a lot of fractions, might be tough to solve. 32 by 43 of a number is 9 greater than 23 by 31 of that number. Find that number. This is just a fraction. So 32 by 43 into x is equal to 9 plus 23 by 31 into x. Try to solve it, man. If you solve it, you should get it. I don't want to solve it on my own. This is a fraction, but without a pen and paper, it will become very difficult to solve it. Guys, please do like the stream. We have more than 100 people who are watching. We have time. This probably is a lengthy question, so we have 3 minutes to solve it. Somebody give me the answer. If 3 people give me the answer, I'm going to mark it. 32 by 43 of a number is 9 greater than 23 by 31 of that number. Find that number. So it will be 32 by 43x is, I can't think of any tricks to solve it quickly. I can think of that number x as 43 into 31k, but it also involves like a lot of calculations. Okay, 3999. Akshay Jain is saying, Amulya is saying, okay, I'm going with 3999, man. 2 people, 3 people have said it. I'm assuming it's correct. I'll just wait for another 2-3 guys. Yeah, okay, I think many people are giving the same answer. Okay, 2461. Guys, just confirm which one it is. Mostly I'll go with 3999. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is correct. Okay, next question, guys. This also seems lengthy. S is 1 cube plus 3 cube plus 5 cube plus dot 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 till 19 cube. Find the number of factors of s square that are divisible by 25. Okay, I'll tell you how to do it. Try to do it and help me out. Basically, you know the formula for the sum of n cubes. The sum of n cubes. So for this, basically assume that s is, say s1, another number is 1 cube plus 2 cube plus dot 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 till 19 cube. You can calculate this. And the value of s2 is 2 cube plus 4 cube plus dot 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 till 18 cube. This is only the sum of even numbers. If you have the sum of even numbers, how are you going to calculate it? You should know the formula for the sum of the cubes. Sum of 1 cube plus 2 cube plus dot 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 till n cube is equal to n into n plus 1 divided by 2 whole square. This is the value of sum of the values of all the cubes till n. So using this formula, you can calculate the value of s1. You can calculate the value of s2 because from s2 you just take 2 cube common. That is, you are taking 8 common, and this will become equal to 1 cube plus 2 cube plus dot 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 till 9 cube. Again, apply the same formula, you will get the answer. You will get s2, you will get s1, both of them you will get separately. You subtract one from the other, you are going to get the value of s, which is the sum of all the odd cubes. This is how you have to solve it. If anybody can solve it, that will be great. I'm just going to take that answer and I'm going to put it. So give me guys, give me the answer. If 3 people agree on an answer, I'm going to just mark it. There is still time. I want the answer in like say 2.5 minutes. In the meantime, I'll try to mentally calculate it. It is very tough mentally calculating, but I'll try to do it. It is 19 into 20 by 2 whole square. That is 190 square. That is the value of this S1, right? 19 into 20 by 2 whole square. So that is 190 square. And this will be 2 cube plus 4 cube. This is 8 into 9 into 10 by 2 whole square. That is 45. So this is 8 into 45 square. The difference between both of them will be the value of S. Anybody can get it, then it will be great. 45. Somebody is saying 45, which is option 3. We still have time, man. We have 2 minutes. So basically, this is 8 into 45 square is 2 into 90 square. 2 into 90 square again. I hope I'm doing it correct. 45. Many people are getting 45. Shall I mark it as 45 and go ahead? Chandralekha got 45. Okay, Dilip. I think many people have gotten 45. I'm going to go ahead with it. Yeah, that is correct. Thank you. Thank you, Chandralekha, Dilip, Neil. Okay, this is the last question, guys. After that, we'll go ahead and do LRDI. Please do like the stream. I want to get a lot of likes. Many people have given 45 as the answer. So basically, like you can see, I find Quant to be a very fun thing to solve. I'm going to just mark this as something, and I'll go ahead so that we can actually start the LRDI session. But do remember, okay, it is actually pretty fun. Like you can see, whenever I'm bored, I just solve some Quant rushes because it is a fun thing to do. And normally I try to solve it without pen and paper, like you can see, because that will increase my pace, that will increase my speed, where I develop better sense of intuition. Definitely do check it out. This is a very well liked, I think my all-time best is 68. So if anybody can actually beat 68, I'll be very, very happy. If anybody can beat it, just do let me know in the chat what your highest score is in Quant Rush. That will be good to see. Okay, guys, let us start the session. This is the first LRDI set. I'm going to give you 12 minutes to solve it. We have more than 130 people who are watching the stream live. Please do like the stream so that more people can join us next time. I know you're not able to see it. So first read this, and after that, I'm going to take it below. I'm going to give you more time to solve it. This is basically about 3 students, A, B, and C. And we have to figure out the marks that they scored in the 9 grids. I know that you are not able to see. I will change it. I just wanted you to. Okay. So now you can see this. You have to basically fill this grid up. Okay. I'm just explaining it because many of you are not able to see it. After that, I will go ahead. We have to calculate how many marks each one of these 3 guys, Anil, Bhavya, Chirag, scored in physics, chemistry, and maths. The thing that has been given to us, which I don't want you to forget, is any entry in I comma j in the grid is always a multiple of I plus j. So this is 1 comma 1, so it is multiple of 2. This is 1 comma 2, so this is multiple of 3. This is 1 comma 3, so it is multiple of 4, and so on. Now, another thing I want you to remember in this is all of them are distinct integers between 1 and 50. That is another thing. Those are the only 2 things that are important in the above part. In the above part, all that is important is all the 9 numbers are distinct integers between 1 and 50, and each element in this row is a multiple of I comma j wherever it is there. After that, you have just this. Okay, these are the 8 clues that are given. Use these 8 clues to solve it. Okay, guys, go ahead and try to solve it. Let me know if you want the above part. I'll again quickly show you the above part so that you're not confused. After that, I'll come back. So basically, you have this 3, 3 row, okay, 3 cross 3 grid. Physics, chemistry, maths, Anil, Bhavya, Chirag. We have to figure out how much each one of them has scored in each of these three. The only two parts of information that is given in the above part is that any entry in I, j is a multiple of I, j, I plus j. So this, for example, is 1, 1. So this will be a multiple of 2. This is 1, 2. So it will be a multiple of 3 and so on. And each of these 9 numbers is a distinct integer between 1 and 50. These are the only things that are given above. After that, it is all over here. So use this to solve. And here are the questions. First question, second question, third question, and fourth question. I think there is even a fifth question. I don't know whether you can see. Yeah, I think you can see all the fifth question, all the 5 questions. Somebody is asking why is the daily 1 DLR set series discontinued? We'll again start it once CAT is closer, man. The problem is we have live classes, the premium live classes for Cracku students every day on weekdays from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. So that slot is occupied. By occupied, we want to basically, when students are enrolled to Cracku and we are doing the premium sessions, I feel that having a DLR session at the same time is like a distraction. That was one reason where we couldn't find the right time, what time to actually do it. One way to do it is do it after 9:30, which is probably what we are considering. That is one part. The second part is we just felt as CAT comes closer, then we'll do it. Then there is chances of more people actually joining us for that one set DLR every day. Sir, is it fixed that column 1 to 3 is from left to right? Akriti, yes, it is fixed. So basically, I want to again tell you, this is the first column, this is the second column, this is the third column. That is fixed. This is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row. That also is fixed. Just for like avoiding any confusion, this is 1, 1, this is 1, 2, this is 1, 3. And so on. The others are also similar. Sir, I have scored 82 in my last mock, which was a sudden jump from my previous one, which was only 47. And I would say that the paper was easy too. So is 88 a genuine score or just because of easy paper? Don't doubt yourself, man. Basically, I think that is a problem with many of us. We are always, if something good happens, we are always trying to figure out why is it good or why is it not good, all of this. Like recently, I met a parent who was asking me, okay, Cracku's courses are like very like low priced. Are they really good? So I felt okay. And just before that, he was actually praising the course. He was saying that the Cracku course is like very good and all. But then he was asking me, but the price is so low. Are you putting in like, is the course good? Why is it so low and all? Then I thought that okay, on the one hand, he's actually liking the course, but then he is suspicious that the price is low. And I found that to be very odd. But then I thought that is how most people actually are. Like if anything good is happening, people try to figure out that or have a sense that okay, maybe something is off, maybe this is not true or something like that. Where I feel in your case also, if your mock scores are good, why are you like doubting yourself? That I think is not something you should encourage. You should tell yourself that having these kind of self doubts are not good. You have done well, the marks are showing that. So be happy and continue to work hard. Yeah, cynicism. I know, and cynicism I think has increased a lot these days, which is unfortunate. But yeah, yeah, that's the normal thinking of people in today's world. Yeah, I know people I think are for some reason not as trusting as they used to be earlier. Bharatiya Gaming Institute. Yeah, I'm not going to do profile reviews, man, because if I review one person's profile, I'll just get bombarded with all the profiles, and then I can't really take any other queries which are not related to profile. So I don't want to do it. If you want profile evaluator, we have built a very nice tool. It is called Cracku Profile Evaluator. Just search on Google. No, just search on Google. Cracku Profile Evaluator. You'll get the tool where you have to enter your profile details, and we will evaluate it immediately and tell you the details of the profile. What are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, all of these things. In addition to it, what are the expected percentiles that you have to get shortlist from the top institutes. All of that, we have built a tool just for that. Just Google search Cracku Profile Evaluator, you'll go to that page. Yeah, maybe he's a very rich man. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Even I found, basically I became I just remember that I became defensive because he was saying, okay, he was like, I don't know, like slightly suspicious. And I felt, okay, why is this happening? So I just remember that it was a very odd conversation that I had, because till then he was praising the course and I was very happy. Obviously, if somebody is praising you, you will feel happy. But then he started saying these things, and then I felt okay. And then he was trying to figure out, okay, why are you giving it for this price? Is it low? Are you like putting full effort or all of these things? And I thought, okay, till then I was very just feeling very happy that he's saying these good things about the course. But then when he was slightly like poking around, I felt very defensive. I just remembered that when somebody was doubting their mock scores. Okay, somebody is saying, please recommend any resources for basics in the Cracku YouTube channel. My senior asked me to refer NCRT books. Okay, good. If you want resources from Cracku, I will, after the time is up, I will give you the resources, because otherwise I think I will block it. I will actually write down what are the, say, 3 or 4 videos I want you to watch, which are available in the Cracku YouTube video. These obviously, because they are available in the Cracku YouTube channel, they will all be free, and I will give you a list of things that I think will be very useful for you. Gokul Kiran saying, thank you, sir. Just want to say, Cracku helped me a lot. I solved around 2000 questions, and I've been consistent in doing questions from the Cracku study room. The streaks got me going some days. Uh, Thanks a lot for that, Gokula, Kiran. One thing I will tell you is this again, I've been telling to some of the students that I met recently who were slightly demotivated because CAT is coming closer. With respect to study room, I just remember like 3-4 years back, there was one student, okay, she didn't do well in CAT. She was a non-engineer and she had trouble with Quant. And the next year she did very well in Quant, and I interviewed her after her success. She joined an institute. For some reason, I forgot which institute it is. If I'm not wrong, it is Kozhikode. I am Kozhikode, or FMS. One of the two she joined the next year. She did very well in CAT. Even in Quant, she did very well. And in that interview, she told me that, sir, I struggled with Quant the first time because I didn't have a lot of practice. But I did very well in verbal and DILR. And after the results were out, the first time I took CAT, I thought, okay, the only hurdle for me is doing well in Quant. And then she thought that, okay, I'm going to give it my all. And then I thought, okay, I enrolled to the Cracku study room and I'm going to solve all the questions in the Cracku study room. And she finished all the questions in Quant in the Cracku study room. And obviously her score also improved. Now, when I was interviewing her, I first felt very inspired because many times in life the solutions to our problems are not very complex. They just need consistency. And she figured out that, okay, Quant is the only hurdle. And how am I going to improve Quant? I need to practice a lot. And she was enrolled to the study room. She felt, okay, this is a good resource. I'm just going to make the best use of it. Okay, I'm going to finish all the Quant questions. And she finished all the Quant questions. And again, if you put in effort for a year, it is not very difficult. Say there are 6,000 questions in the Quant study room. If you are solving 20 questions every day, then you are going to finish all the questions. That was basically her mindset. And I felt basically I remember that interview, even though that was like 3-4 years back, because I just felt that her thinking was very, very simple and very logical. It was not complicated. It was not like whining or cribbing, ki, okay, I'm a non-engineer, CAT is very tough. Nothing like that. She just felt this is a problem I have to solve, and this is probably a solution, and I'm just going to try to figure a solution to it. So yeah, Gokula, Kiran, if you're doing well, if you're putting in that effort consistently, definitely believe that results will follow. Now coming to this question, before I solve this question, somebody asked me about the videos on the Cracku YouTube channel that they should watch. I would give you a list. This is from the top of my mind. If I remember anything, I will add to it. The first thing is, last year we did one 7-hour stream. This 7-hour stream was on the CAT formulas. We covered all the important formulas for CAT. And after explaining the formula, we solved one question based on that formula. So it is a 7-hour stream. I did it and Sayali did it. Both of us combined did it. It is very, very good, very, very useful, complete bang for buck. We won't be like wasting time. We will be just focused on solving the problems. This is the first one I would tell you. The second one is the 100 quant question playlist that we release every year. We have, I think, 5 or 6 100 quant question videos. Each one of them will be around 6 to 7 hours, where we'll be having 100 questions. We'll first show the question, after that we'll show the video solution. This is very useful. The third one I would say is the, I think, 50 LRDI sets or 25 LRDI sets. We have, I think, 25 LRDI sets videos also. We released again 5 or 6 of them. Watch this, again try to solve the LRDI set on your own. And after that, if you're not getting it, look at the video solution. This is for solving a lot of questions. The playlist that I would recommend for you is the complete quant revision playlist. This involves 4 videos that Sayali made. 2 are in quant, 1 is in verbal, 1 is in LRDI. So total of 4 videos where the entire syllabus for quant, LRDI and verbal is covered. I would say these are the, each one of them is basically a playlist. This is a one video, but this is a playlist, this is a playlist, this is a playlist. I would say these are very, very useful. This is for a student who asked me what are the useful things in Cracku YouTube channel. Now let us try to solve this particular question. Let me clear this. Yeah. So here basically what we are required to calculate is, we need to calculate what is the marks of Anil, Bhavya and Chirag in physics, chemistry and maths. So let us write it down first. This is Anil, this is Bhavya and this is Chirag. This is physics, this is chemistry and this is maths. Now the row is, this is 1, 1, this is 1, 2 and this is 1, 3. The score of Bhavya, this will be 2, 1. This is 2, 2. I'm just giving you the cell number so that we figure out which number is this a multiple of, and this will be 2, 3. This will be 3, 1. This is 3, 2. And this is 3, 3. So if you think about it, Anil's score in physics, this has to be a multiple of 2. Let us just write it down as 2 times A. His score in chemistry will be a multiple of 3. This is 3 times B. His score in maths is 4 times C. His score, Bhavya's score in physics will be 2 plus 1 is 3. So again 3 times D. Bhavya's score in chemistry is 4 times E. That is some multiple of 4. Bhavya's score in maths is a multiple of 5. This is 5 times F. Chirag's score in physics is, this will be a multiple of 4. So this is 4 times G. This is 3 plus 2, that is 5. 5 times H. And this is 3 plus 3, so 6. So this is 6 times I. Why did I write it like this? So that immediately I know which number is it, each of these numbers a multiple of. Now let us start looking at the clues. In general, in LRDI, what I always do is, whenever I'm given this kind of list of clues, if I have utilized a clue completely, I just cross it out. Okay. if you're not able to cross it out in the actual examination also, at least try to mark off that, okay, one, write down the numbers and just put a cross or something, because I reiterate through all the clues, then I can figure out and fill the table accordingly. Because the first time I go through all the clues, I might not be able to fill the entire table up. But if I'm reiterating through it, and if I know what is the clue that I have to focus on, it will be easier and faster for me. For example, Anil scored 16 marks in maths. So Anil's score in maths is 16. What I'm essentially saying is, now just cross this off. Why am I crossing this off? Because even if I'm coming to this clue again, I'm not going to get any additional information. This is a factual information that Anil scored 16 marks in maths. So if I remove it, I know that, okay, I have to focus on the other ones, other clues, not on that particular clue. Total marks scored by Anil is greater than the total marks scored by Bhavya across the 3 subjects. So if you assume that the total marks of Anil is TA, total marks of Bhavya is TB. So TA is greater than TB. Now this clue don't cross out, because after I finish all of them and if I come back to it, I will again use this clue, because I don't know what are the marks of Anil in each of the 3 rows or 3 columns. The marks scored by Anil in chemistry was a multiple of 7. Anil's score in chemistry is a multiple of 7. This has to be a multiple of 3 also. So Anil's score in chemistry is a multiple of 3, which is given earlier. Now the new clue is that it is a multiple of 7. So it has to be a multiple of 21. So this is either 21, it is either a multiple of 21 or it is a multiple of 42. One of the two has to be the case. Again, if I had figured out that it is 21 or that it is 42, I will cross it off. Right now I don't know, so I'm still not letting it cross out. The marks scored by Bhavya in chemistry was the highest marks scored by anyone in any subject. The marks scored by Bhavya, that is this one. CB, that the marks scored by Bhavya in chemistry, or I'll write it as Chem B, is the highest. The marks across one of the diagonals of the grade forms an arithmetic, is forming an arithmetic progression in some order. So either 2A, 4E, 6I or 16, 4E, 4G is an AP. Arithmetic progression in some diagonal. I'm just writing it down so that in my mind also, like I will note down that, okay, this is a clue I haven't used or something like that. The total marks scored by Anil across all the 3 subjects was an even number. Okay, looking at it, the marks scored by Anil in physics is 2A. This is even. Marks scored by Anil in maths is 16. This also is even. If the sum of all the 3 marks scored by Anil is even, the only option is that his score in chemistry also has to be even. Because if this is even, the sum of these 2 is even. Even plus odd will be odd. So this has to be 42. This can't be 21. So now I have used this off completely. So I'm just going to cross this, because I'm not going to get anything new by coming here. If I'm going through that clue again and again, I'm not going to get anything. In fact, the earlier one also somewhere about Anil's marks scored by Anil in chemistry was a multiple of 7. I can actually cross this off, because I know that Anil scored 42 in chemistry. Just going through it is not going to give me any new information. The total marks scored by the 3 students in mathematics was more than the total marks scored by them in chemistry. Total marks in mathematics, if this is TM and if this is TC, what we are basically saying is that TM is greater than TC. The total marks in mathematics is greater than the total marks in chemistry. The marks obtained by Bhavya in chemistry is at least 45. Okay, marks obtained by Bhavya in chemistry. Okay, here is the marks obtained by Bhavya. Now, if it is at least 45 and it has to be a multiple of 4, it has to be only 1. This has to be 48. Because this has to be a multiple of 4, it is greater than 45, so it has to be 48. I can actually cross this off also. There is nothing new that I'm getting. Anil's highest marks were not in physics. This is physics. Anil's marks in physics is Anil physics, not highest. So it will be less than or equal to, it is less than 42 actually. Because he scored 42 in chemistry. So this is what we know. This is basically what we know as a start. Using this, we have to solve the rest. So let me go through the clues again. Then I can try to figure out which of them. So I have gone through the clues once. I'll just reiterate through the clues and I'll try to see if I get any more information. The total marks scored by Anil was greater than the total marks scored by Bhavya across the 3 subjects. So if I'm looking at the total marks scored by Anil, the total marks scored by Anil is, this is 2A, 42 and 16. So this is 2A plus 58 is greater than 3D plus 48 plus 5F. This is fine. So this is basically 10. So some information, but not something that I can use it. Basically, this cell is greater than this cell plus 10 is greater than this cell plus this cell. Some information. Let us go to the next one. The marks obtained by Bhavya in chemistry was the highest scored by anyone in the subject. So basically, none of them, we know that Bhavya scored 48. None of them scored either 49 or 50. The marks across the grid is forming a arithmetic progression in some order. So either this is an arithmetic progression or this is an arithmetic progression. Again, can't really conclude much from this. The total marks scored by all the 3 subjects in maths, that is over here, is greater than the total marks scored by everyone in chemistry, that is over here. So if you write it down, what is the total marks scored in chemistry? That is 42 plus 48 plus the marks of Chirag in chemistry, which is, we wrote it as 5H. This is less than the total marks scored in maths, which is 16 plus 5F plus 6I. So immediately you would think that, okay, in chemistry, there are 2 marks which are very high. One is 42, one is 48. Both of them are pretty high. Still, the total marks of chemistry is less than the total marks of maths. That is definitely going to give us some clues. So if you look at it, what is the minimum score in chemistry? Minimum total score in chemistry. The minimum total score in chemistry will be when this 5H becomes equal to 5. Because this is either 5 or 10 or some multiple of 5. So the minimum score, total score in chemistry is 95. What is the maximum score in maths? The maximum score happens when this is maximum and this is maximum. What is the maximum multiple of 6? It can't be 48 because 48 is already taken. It can't be 42. 42 also is already taken. So the maximum multiple of 6 is 36. What about the multiple of 5? That is, what is the maximum score of Bhavya in maths? It can be 45. It is not 50 because Bhavya's score in chemistry is the highest of all the cells. So this guy can't score 50 over here. He has to score 45 at max. So this is at max 45. This is the maximum score in maths. This, if you're adding it, 16 plus 45 is 61 plus 36 is 97. What we are essentially saying is chemistry is definitely greater than 95 and maths is definitely less than 97, less than or equal to. So the only possibility is that both of them are actually 95 and 97. Because if say the multiple of 5, instead of 5, if it is 10, then the score of chemistry will become 100. Then it will be definitely greater than maths because maths is always less than 97. If this inequality has to hold true, where the total score in chemistry is less than that of maths, the first thing that has to happen is this has to be equal to 5. If it is 10 or more, the maximum possible of maths is 97 and the total score of chemistry will be greater than 97. That is 5. So this would imply that this total of chemistry is 95. The total score of maths can at max be 97. Now, if this is not 36, what is the next smallest multiple of 36? It will be 30. That is, a decrease of 6 will make it, instead of 97, 91. That also is not possible. Similarly, if instead of 45, this is 40 or some multiple of 5 which is less than 45, the sum of these three will be definitely less than 95. If instead of 45, it becomes 40, the total will be instead of 97, 92. So this has to be 45 and this has to be 36. Now we have used this clue completely. So let me put a cross over here. Let me look at the next one. Anil's highest marks were not in physics. So the marks of Anil in physics is less than 42, that we have already heard, but again we don't know how to use it right now. Let me go back again. If you look at what we have completed, we have figured out the total marks in chemistry, we have figured out the total marks in maths, we need to figure out the total marks in physics. Let us see what are the clues that we have left. The total marks of Anil is greater than the total marks of Bhavya across the three subjects. This I think will be useful, because now I know Anil's score in chemistry and maths, I know Bhavya's score in chemistry and maths. The only thing I can compare is that of physics. So if I'm looking at Anil's score is greater than that of Bhavya, right? What is Anil's score? Anil's score is Anil's score in physics, which we are writing it as 2a, plus 42 plus 16 is greater than Bhavya's score in physics, plus 48 plus 45. This is Anil's score in physics plus 58 is greater than Bhavya's score in physics plus this is 93. Or Anil's score in physics is greater than Bhavya's score in physics plus 35. So again you can immediately figure out that Anil's score in physics is very high. Anil's score in physics is a multiple of 2, Bhavya's score in physics is a multiple of 3. Now we have some information about Anil's score in physics. We just did it. Anil's score in physics is less than 42. That we have figured out. So now there are very few chances or very few cases to consider. Bhavya's score in physics will be at least 3. This is either 3 or 6 or 9, some multiple of 3. If it is 3, what we are saying is Anil's score in physics is greater than 38. If it is 6, we are saying that Anil's score in physics is greater than 41. But Anil's score in physics is an even number. It is an even number which is less than 42. So Anil's score in physics will be either 40 or 38 or 36 or some even number which is less than 42. So the only possibility is this guy Bhavya's score in physics cannot be 6, because if it is 35 plus 6, Anil's score in physics has to be greater than 41. That is not possible. Anil's score in physics has to be less than or equal to 40. It is an even number which is less than 42. The only alternative is this is 3 and this is 40. Let me go ahead and I'll mark out this one. This also is now taken care of completely. The marks scored by Bhavya in chemistry was the highest marks scored by anyone in any subject. I have identified most of them. The only thing I have to identify is Chirag's score in physics. So this I can say is actually completely used up. I can say that Bhavya's score in chemistry is 48. Chirag's score in physics is definitely less than 48, which is known to me because there is no multiple of 4 which is greater than 48. The marks across one of the diagonal in the grid is forming an arithmetic progression in some order. I think using this I can calculate the score of Chirag in physics. The scores 40, 48 and 36, they are not an AP. 40 is in between 48 and 36, but it is not the arithmetic mean. The arithmetic mean of 48 and 36 is 42, not 40. So these three numbers are not an AP. If you are looking at these three numbers, we have 16, we have 48. Score of Chirag has to be in the middle because 48 is the highest. Score of Chirag cannot be here. Score of Chirag also cannot be here because then it will be negative if these three form an AP. So score of Chirag has to be here. Chirag in physics. These three numbers are forming an AP. 16 plus 48 is 64. So this has to be 32. So this will be the table. Now I would say this is not a very difficult question. The thing that is needed is you should not be scared. You have to just look at the clues, reiterate through all the clues and keep filling the table. When you are filling the table, the important thing in solving an LRDI is trying to figure out what is the clue that still has some juice left. If you're able to figure out that, okay, this clue I haven't used completely, I will come back to it later, That will give you a lot of clues later on. That will save a lot of time. Let us solve this question. How many unique combinations are possible? There is only one unique combination possible. This is the unique combination of the 9 scores. What is the sum of marks obtained by the 3 students in physics? The sum of marks obtained in physics is this. 40 plus 3 is 43 plus 32 is 75, which is option B. What is the total sum of marks obtained by Chirag in the 3 subjects? This is the total. 32 plus 36 is 68 plus 5 is 73. What is the difference between the total marks scored in maths and the total marks scored in chemistry? What is the total marks scored in maths? 45 plus 36 is 81 plus 16 is 97. 42 plus 48 is 90 plus 5 is 95. This is what I think we used, right? The 95 and 97. So this has to be 2. How many scores out of the 9 scores were prime numbers? Okay, how many of these numbers are prime? 5 is prime, 3 is prime. I think all the others are not prime. So it will be 2. Okay guys, that was the first question. Let us try to solve the second LRDI set. Please like the stream, guys. Okay, I know some of you have mentioned something. I will look at it. Okay. Basically, we are starting a new batch on Monday. If you want any details about the batch, you can contact us on this number 6303239042, or you can just Google search Cracku CAT 2026 course. Both of them will give you all the details. This has daily live classes from Monday to Friday. I take all the live classes on Mondays. Sayali takes the live classes on Thursdays. The remaining 3 days, we have excellent faculty who get top rating when we look at the feedback that is given by students. This I think will be very useful for you. We have one-to-one mentorship that you can book a slot with, and our mentor is going to call you. You'll get access to the study room, daily targets, mocks. You'll get access to everything. Definitely do check it out. Otherwise, you can just contact us on this number 6303239042. Okay, guys, this is the second set. I think this is the set. Try to solve it. If you are not able to read it, I will increase the font in sometime. Okay. Vedavardhan is saying, sir, I started solving LRDI PYQs from 2017. Is it still relevant? Yeah, it is relevant then. Don't worry. anything after 2017, I think it's relevant. There are some old CATs like before 2008, they are not relevant. But anything after 2017, I think is definitely relevant. Sir, how to make cases cleanly in such questions? I was able to solve much of the set, but ended up making a mistake in some calculations because of too many cases. I would say try to avoid making cases as much as possible. If you start making cases at the start, it will become very, very complex. So like I mentioned, try to avoid making cases at the start. Try to go through all the clues 2-3 times. And once you figure out that I'm not making any progress, okay, when all the clues are dried up, then you can make cases. Till then, I would say avoid making cases at the start. That way, you will be able to have control over the set. Because if you start making a lot of cases at the start, it will become very complex. And some of the cases will be redundant. Some of the cases will not be needed. So try to cut down on the number of cases at the start. Put full effort there, and only after that start making cases. And one other thing I would tell you is, in actual examination, I would try to avoid sets where multiple cases are possible. So I would look at the questions beforehand before selecting the set. In fact, in this question also, it is asked how many unique cases are possible or something like that. So it is actually possible that before solving the set, if I had looked at that question, I would have assumed that multiple cases are possible. And if I felt that multiple cases were possible, I probably would not have attempted the set. Again, I'm not saying that is relevant for this set. This is not a difficult set. It has only one condition, one case. But normally, I would say try to avoid sets where you think multiple cases are possible, because there will be time sinks, A. Second, the accuracy might be slightly lesser because if you miss out on a case. Third, even if you solve it correct, you won't be confident. And that confidence is very important in LRDI. If you solve a set and if you know that you're getting one set correct, you feel much more relaxed and you will be able to perform better in the remaining LRDI section. But if you solved a set and you're not 100% sure it is correct or not, you will also be slightly underconfident in the next sets. So that is another reason I would say a case which has multiple, a set which has multiple cases is something you should not try to solve at the start. Sujan Kumar, sir, is it better to solve PYQs now? I'm solving them seeing your YouTube videos. I'm clear with my basics. Definitely solve it. I would actually tell you the best way to improve in LRDI, gain confidence in LRDI, also is solving from previous year's papers. They are very good sets. By definition, they are relevant for CAT. Definitely solve it first. Before going to anything else, if you have time, solve the previous year's papers of LRDI. Shifaraj is saying, sir, how much studying is enough studying? There is never enough studying, man, unfortunately. You should try to study as much as you can. But normally I would say if you're solving questions regularly, Quant and LRDI, I think that's okay. Try to solve at least 20 Quant questions every day and say 1 or 2 LRDI sets. Guys, please do like the stream. We have more than 100 people watching the stream live and we have only 122 likes. After this set, Sayali will come, but after this set, I'll again try to solve some Quant rush if you're interested. We'll solve for 5-10 minutes and after that I will give it off to Sayali. So if you're interested in me solving some Quant rush, do let me know in the chat. Based on it, we can take it forward. After this set is over. Because after this set is over, Sayali will come and she will look at the remaining 2 sets. But in that middle, in that gap, if you want me to solve some Quant rush, let me know. Shubham Bora, chess official. Shubham, do you play chess? I'm also a chess player, man. I'm interested in chess. Is 21 marks in QA, VA 4 marks, LRDI 6 marks, overall 31 marks in CAT 2025, slot 2, good start. I'm going to start my prepare November 2027. I think November 2027 is definitely far away. So right now, wherever you are, I would say you have sufficient time to do very well in CAT 2027. I think your score in QA as a start is pretty good. If you have already scoring 21 marks in QA, that's good. I would recommend you to improve in verbal and LRDI. Especially LRDI, I would say CAT 2025 slot 2. People might complain, people crib and all, but I felt the LRDI of slot 2 was definitely much easier than slot 1 and slot 3. So in the easiest LRDI slot, I would expect you to get more. So those are the two areas I want you to focus on completely. For verbal, try to inculcate a habit of reading. Every single day, I want you to read 4 or 5 articles from a wide variety of sources. That will automatically improve your comprehension skills. And LRDI, like I mentioned earlier, the best way to start off is by solving the previous year's papers. So try to solve LRDIs from previous year's paper sets. That will be a good start. Okay, Milan, don't spam, no. Sir, I'm struggling in mocks, but during analyzing, I simply solve the sets. That's fine, man. So it means that the problem is not your aptitude. If you're able to solve the sets after the mock, the problem is your composure. So focus on working on your composure. Working on your composure would basically involve you to figure out what is making you nervous. Try to introspect. Try to figure out how to improve it better. To improve composure, there is no one medicine for all. For every person, they have to handle it themselves. One thing I would say is there are certain qualities which will definitely help you. One is taking a lot of mocks will ensure that you get used to that mock, like that mock pressure. The second thing is having a job, having some plan B, so that you're not putting all your eggs in CAT. So your pressure will be lesser, and if your pressure is lesser, you tend to perform well. So there are certain qualities I would say which will help your composure, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out what is it that is going to help you in being less nervous during the mock. Okay, Akhil is saying, what is an effective revision strategy for quants? How often should we revise? And what is the method for effective recall? I would say first thing is you should be very comfortable with the formulas. You should understand the formulas and their application very well. That I think is the low hanging fruit. For that, you can download the Cracku CAT formula PDF. I'll just tell you. Just Google search Cracku CAT formula PDF. You Google search this, you are going to get the CAT formula PDF that we have generated. Download it and go through the PDF regularly. That way, just when you're bored, when you're having lunch, when you're just, instead of scrolling randomly on Instagram, okay, or even if you're doing it, once in a while, just look at this. It should not be like a fixed thing that you're doing. Every day I'm spending 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I want you to do it regularly at any point of time where you feel you're just wasting your time. Instead of that, at least for 5-10 minutes, just go through the formulas regularly. That way, it will improve your recollection of the formulas better. And this is a very good resource, the Cracku CAT formula PDF, so that you can revise the formulas quickly. Okay, guys, last 1 minute, try to solve it. Dushyant Kumar is saying, sir, how do we represent info in LRDI sets? Basically, once you figure out how to represent the information, I would say 50% of the set is done. So it is not something that you should take easily. LRDI is all about how you represent the data. So once you're able to figure out that this is the table I have to draw, these are the column names, then just going through the clues, reiterating through all the clues, you will be able to fill the entire table. So you will get better at it only when you solve multiple types of LRDI sets. And you have to believe that even LRDIs, even though it looks very random and unstructured, the types of LRDI sets that are asked are often repetitive. In the sense, if you have 5 LRDI sets in a particular slot, at least 3 of them will be from a known kind. There will be 2 completely new sets out of the 5, but at least 3 will be known. You can place it. You can say that this is a Venn diagram set. This is an arrangement set. This is a Einstein puzzle set. This is a scheduling set. So you will be able to figure out what are the known types of LRDI sets. And known types of LRDI sets, you should know how to represent the data. Bharati is saying, what does NA in conversions mean in call predictor? I'm not sure, man. I'll just check it out with my team and I'll let you know. Okay, let us try to solve this question, guys. Okay, what is given? We have 6 professors, A, B, C, D, E, and F. They were working in 4 different fields: physics, chemistry, biology, and literature. Each professor teamed up with exactly one other professor to publish a research paper in one of the 4 fields. Each professor published at least one research paper. No professor was part of 2 teams that published research paper in the same field. That is, if say there is A, he already published a paper in physics, he is not going to publish another paper in physics. Similarly, if there is F, suppose he published a paper in literature, he is not going to publish 2 papers in literature. So in each of the field, the maximum number of papers that any of the professors published is 1. Exactly 2 research papers were published in each field. So basically, we have to identify among these 4 fields: physics, chemistry, biology, and literature. Each one of them has 2 research papers. So who are the 2 pairs who published the research papers? That is what we need to know. So let us write it down. We have physics, we have chemistry, we have biology, and we have literature. This is the first paper and this is the second paper. Each paper is written by 2 people. This is one guy, this is another guy. This is one guy, this is another guy. This is one guy, this is another guy. This is one guy and this is another. We have to basically identify who are the pairs. There will be 2 pairs per each of the field, because every field has 2 research papers and every research paper is written by 2 professors. Each professor teamed up with exactly one other professor to write a research paper. So every research paper will have 2 and every field has 2 research papers. So if you are looking at it, the total number of entries that we have to make over here is 16. Physics will have 2 research papers. Each research paper has 2 people. So this is 4, this is 4, this is 4, this is 4. These 16 have to come from who? They have to come from A, B, C, D, E, and F. The total number of entries in this particular table, all of the entries have to be A, B, C, D, E, and F. The total number of entries is 16. Each entry at the end of the day will basically tell you how many research papers a particular person has written. Suppose B comes 4 times here. It means that B has written 4 research papers. If C comes 3 times here, it would mean that C has written 3 research papers, and so on. Professor F published research papers with exactly 3 professors. So one we know immediately, we know that F has written 3 research papers. This total is 16. And out of which F has written 3. So the top 5 have written a total of 13. B did not publish a research paper with F. So B and F, they did not publish a research paper. C published exactly 1 research paper and it was in the field of chemistry. So C published 1 research paper and this was in the field of chemistry. So in chemistry, one of the 4 is C. With whom did C publish the research paper? That we don't know. We just know that C published 1 research paper in chemistry. A was the only professor who published 4 research papers. So A over here published 4 research papers. Now if you look at it, 4 plus 1 plus 3 is 16. Sorry, 4 plus 1 plus 3 is 8. So B plus D plus E, the total number of research papers that these guys have published has to be 8. Because the sum of all of them has to be 16, we have identified 3 guys. Professor B and E teamed up to publish a research paper in literature. So in literature, B and E teamed up to publish a paper. E published 2 research papers, one in biology. So E published 1 research paper in biology. Total number that he published is 2. And the other one in literature, which is what we already filled up. but he did not publish a research paper with Professor F. So if you're looking at it with Professor A, Professor A published 4 research papers. So he published 1 research paper in physics, 1 in chemistry, 1 in biology, 1 in literature. We know for sure that one of the 4 over here is A. With respect to chemistry, also we know that A published a research paper. The only reason as to why I can't fill up A over here is, I don't know whether A teamed up with C and published a research paper, or he teamed up with somebody else and published a research paper. I don't know that. But I know that one of these 4 names has to be A, because A published a total of 4 research papers. That is why right now I'm going to just put A over here to remind myself. If I get any more clue, I'll try to fill up A over here. In biology, some information is given. In biology, we are told that he published a research paper, but he did not publish a research paper with Professor A. So here, A comes over here. A published a research paper in biology, but he did not team up with E. So he teamed up with somebody else. In literature also, A published a research paper, so it will be over here. Professor C published a research paper with the professor who published the maximum number of research papers. So now I know that C and A published a research paper over here. This is what we discussed earlier. In the clue below, it is actually given to me. So this is how the research paper is actually looking. If I'm looking at the numbers 4, 1, 2, 3, this is totaling up to 10. So B plus D, this has to be equal to 6. And B and D published less than 4, because A is the only guy who published 4 research papers. So B will be 3 and D will be 3. Now what other information do I know? Here if you are looking at it, I filled up all the 4 values of A. So this is completely taken care of. With respect to B, I just filled him in literature. Amongst physics, chemistry and biology, there are 2 more research papers that B published, which I don't know right now. So I'll just put 2 over here. I have to identify the 2 research papers that B has done. C published 1 research paper. I know that it is in chemistry and I know that he did it with A. So I'm going to put a cross over here. D is 3. Out of the 4, I have no idea about D. It can be in physics with A, or it can be separately without A in physics. In chemistry, he could have published or he could not have published. If he published in chemistry, it will be over here. In biology, he could have published either with E or A, or he need not have published in biology. Literature, if he had published, it would come along with A. So again, with D, I have no idea. I'll just leave it like that. E2, I have filled it up. One is in biology, one is in literature. There is no scope for filling E anywhere. F, similar to D, I have no idea where to fill. Now, if you're looking at the number of blanks that are there, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are 8 blanks I have to fill. Out of those 8, 3 is D, 3 is F, and 2 is B. This is basically the information I have. Let us go ahead and try to solve the questions. If Professor A and Professor F as a team published a research paper in physics. So here, if it is F, just for the sake of this explanation, I'll use a different pen. Suppose this is okay. I'm not able to use a different pen here. Okay, I think I can use it here. Suppose this is F. Okay. Then Professor B and D as a team published a research paper in which field? If it is A and F, these 2 have to be B and D. Because remember that every other entry over here has to be either B or D or F. If F already comes over here, these 2 have to be B and D. Because in this row, F cannot repeat again. So B and D would have made a paper in physics. Let me again clean this so that there is no confusion. How many research papers did D along with any other professor publish? The total number of research papers that D published is 3, which is option C. If Professor A and Professor B publish a research paper in physics. So now here we are saying that if with A it is B, then who among the following published the other research paper in physics? So these 2 now have to be D and F. So it is not B and D or E and F or D and D. This has to be none of these This will actually be D and F. Who among the following is the odd one out? Professor E has 2 research papers, B has 3, D has 3, and F has 3. So the odd one out is Professor E. So that will be the correct answer. Let me look at the chat, and after that I will hand it over to Sayali. Hi Timulane. Hi sir, I hope you remember me. I started my own business and I'm now thinking of starting preparation side by side. Okay, good man. Definitely do it. But I remember you Aditya. I again want to just reiterate what I told you in the chat we had. Try to get the certificate for WorkX. If you are starting your business, also try to figure out what are all the certificates that are needed. Maybe you'll need a pay slip. Maybe you need to register the business. Do all of those things. Just don't ignore the WorkX. The element or the help that WorkX will give will be cumulative and you'll be very happy about it. Gajaman is saying, can't A publish 2 research papers in the same subject? No, he can't publish 2 research papers in the same subject. I think that is already given to us. Okay, guys. Let me know quickly if you want Sayali to attempt Quant Rush. Okay, you're ready.
Hi guys. I hope you guys are ready to solve a couple of more sets. Oh, I have to do this, huh? Okay. Okay. Here. I am ready. As ready as I'll ever be. You go there. Just go to study room here, no? This is not a button. Yeah. Element team.
You ready?
Ready. Let's go.
Number system. Without a pen and a paper. You can take help from chat.
Okay. Largest number of 7 digits. Largest number of 7 digits exactly divisible by 45 is okay.
Okay, last chat. They will help. They will help.
Okay, help me chat, okay? Largest number of 7 digits exactly divisible by this. So I'm assuming there'll be like 9. Okay, this. Oh, there's no. There'll be 9, 9, 9, 9.
You should solve it.
By bird. Okay, I think this would be the case. Yeah, no, this one. Okay. But why 4, 5, why not 9, 0? It would be 901, no? Option C or option D, guys?
Ask them like 2 categories.
Okay. Option C. Oh, yeah. So, no, it will be D only, right? No. Option C or option D, guys? Only one guy is saying D. For some reason, I think it is D. Yeah, I think it is D. Many guys are saying D. Even I think it is D. A. Correct answer. Okay. This 13 plus. Array, let me solve, no? 64, 8, 96, yeah. Ask chat. Chat is still on the last question. Okay, the S is the largest prime factor of S, while B is the smallest prime factor. What is the value of A plus B? Okay, 6.
No parent.
Array, why? Okay, guys. Array. Crazy. A square plus B square has A plus B the whole square minus 25 into. 187. Yeah, no, nothing that I can think of.
Tell him there is time.
Guys, tell me what is the difference here? What is the difference? What is the value of a plus b? I'll solve, no?
No.
No, why no? 162 is 18 into 9, no? So this is 18 into 9 the whole square. This is 5 square. Okay. 81, 1. 81 square would be. I'll have to use pen and paper for this. Array! 81 square would be how much? It would be 6561. Okay, nice. Into 4. 4. Okay, somebody help me, okay? Otherwise, the time is going. 26,246. 246. So this is 71 at the end. Okay. होगा ही नहीं ना. This won't be like this cannot be done without pen and paper. Okay, like okay. Tell me your number again. 2. Okay, but okay, guys, help me because I can't use pen and paper, and this requires pen and paper. Come on, guys, try to solve this one. Okay, let me try to do it without pen and paper. Let's see. Is there any a squared plus b squared? There's no.
Is not options.
Yeah.
Has to be a, b, or and you're looking at the prime factor.
See, the last 2 digits are 71 or something that you mentioned. This is
odd and even. We'll try to figure it. Okay.
Huh.
Roughly, it has to be a, b, or d. Okay. Now, a plus b is the prime factor. The sum. If it is this, it would mean that both of those numbers, the 26,000 whatever, prime number, go to 2 primes. I think that is it.
Yeah.
Now, it has to be one of these 3. The smallest prime is not 3, the smallest prime is not 2, the smallest prime is 5, the smallest prime can be 7. So, but it is not 266. It can be 367, or it is not 388, or 11. It is either A, B, or D. What is chat saying?
Chat is okay. Somebody has put 395.
395. Okay. 395.
Anybody else who can check it? I'm going to go on that, okay, because I can't check this.
I don't think it is C.
Because it would be.
Wait. See, it is sum of 2 primes, right? Sum of 2 primes has to be equal.
Can I use a calculator?
374.
Okay.
Because one of them is not 2. So it is
sum of 2 even 2 odd numbers will be even. Arey, nice. Good job, Bharati. Okay. What is the remainder when this is divided by 119? 119 is a prime number, Wilson's theorem. So my 1, right? Oh, wrong. Arey, it is 108. How many? It is -1. How many 2-digit numbers when multiplied by 2 exactly reverse their digits? Okay. So the difference.
Okay, I'll explain what I did earlier. After this quant rush is over, I'll explain the trick that I used to solve that question. I'll probably make
But he said that C was too large to be the case. That's why he eliminated C. After eliminating C, there was only one even number. Okay, 2 even. How many 2-digit numbers when multiplied by this? So the multiplied by 2. So 20A plus 2B is equal to 10B plus A. So 19A is equal to 9B. No, to 8B, which cannot be the case. So 0, right?
Or ask chat.
10, 20 plus 2 is equal to 10 plus 9 this side, 19 this side. It cannot be. So 0. Yeah. How many values of P exist such that are prime numbers? Only 1, 2, 5, and 7. Because one of this will be even and there's only one even prime number. So this. Find the sum of all factors of this which are multiples of 10. क्या हो गया? Start for help is like okay. Okay.
Okay, this is the last.
Okay, 6 square into 10 square. 2 raised to. So this is 2 raised to 2 into 3 raised to 2 into 2. 2 raised to 4 into 3 raised to 2 into 5 raised to 2. So this is 4 into 3 into 2. 4 into 3 into 2 is 24. So sum of all factors, okay. Okay. Okay, so it is 1 plus, okay, I have to start with like 2 plus 2 to 16. The sum of all this 2. Okay, bye, okay, theek hai. Like, okay, this is the last one. I'm going with, okay, people are saying D, so I'm going with that, okay. Okay, so we'll end over here. Okay, so guys, I'll end the stream over here, and so as you can see, Quant Rush. So yeah, I'll end the Quant Rush over here. So as you can see, it is fun. Play with your friends also. Some of the toppers told me that they used to play it with their friends as a challenge, and they would see how far they can go. So it's a fun thing to do. So try to do it with your friends. Okay, so let's go to our next LRDI set. Yeah, Maruti was going to explain how he did that, but I'll explain. He has left already. Okay, so basically it was 25 square plus 162 square, right? So this would be odd plus even, right? So the sum would be odd number. Okay. Now an odd number will not have have any power of 2. So the smallest power of like the smallest prime number power would be an odd number. Okay. So A, which is like the smallest, will be odd, right? And B, which is the largest prime factor, will also be odd. So A plus B would be the sum of 2 odd numbers, which would mean that the sum has to be a even number. A plus B has to be an even number. There were 2 even numbers. B and C options were both even, but the C option was a very large option. That would indicate that the sum, like it was something like a 4-digit number. But if that is the case, then this sum itself has to be very close to a prime number. Then you can say that, okay, one of the largest prime factors is a very large prime number. But I don't think this is a prime number or close to a prime number itself. So from that, we could eliminate option C. So we could then say that, okay, B is the only even option that is there. So B is the correct answer. Okay. So let's go, guys. Let's go to the next set. Before I go to that, we have a batch starting tomorrow. So if you're looking for a structured way to prepare for CAT, you don't need Maruti's brain, as somebody put it. All you need is a proper course which can guide you how to prepare for CAT. So our course begins tomorrow. It's a sprint batch. It starts 28th July, which is on Monday, not tomorrow. It starts on Monday. We have daily live classes Monday to Friday from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. And in these 2 hours, we cover the concept in detail. We solve a lot of questions. We make sure that the concept is covered, the entire portion is covered in detail. Along with that, we make sure that you also practice. So it's also in the same quiz format that you see, so that you practice and you learn. Apart from the daily live classes, we have weekly revision. We also have a day-wise schedule. So before you take the class, you have to see a pre-recorded video. So your concepts are clear. You do the additional practice during the live session. You can get any of the doubts that you have answered. And you can then also get one-on-one mentorship. So if you have any kind of doubts, okay, how do I like get the next improvement in my mock scores? What do I do next to like improve in VARC or DILR? You can ask a mentor. Our mentors are basically guys who have already scored very well in CAT, who have a lot of experience of the exam, so they can guide you. They can tell you what your mock strategy should be, what your preparation strategy should be. So you can also get one-on-one mentorship with that. So do check out our course. It starts on Monday. For any information, you can contact us on this number. We also have scholarships based on if you've gone to a, if you have very good 10th, 12th undergrad scores, or if you have taken CAT previously and have a good score, decent score in the previous CAT, you will get some discounts based on it. So do message us on this number so that we can tell you what would be the right course for you, as well as we can tell you if you're eligible for any scholarship. Okay, so let's get to the next set. Okay, so this is the, ma'am, what would be the ideal time to complete syllabus of Quant to solely focus on mock strategy making and practical weakness? Same for VRC and DLR. I would generally say that complete by September. By September, you should basically switch gears from like completing syllabus to practicing. From September, you should be taking a lot of mocks. From September, you should be practicing a lot. That time, you should try to start gaining momentum. So you have to peak at the right time. If you peak too early, say in July only, you are started in like putting 8 hours a day, you will burn out before November. So you have to essentially peak at the right time in November. So you should slowly start changing gears from September. Start like solving a lot of questions in September, start taking some mocks regularly. In October, November, start taking mocks almost every weekend. November, you start taking mocks like midweek also. And in November, you should basically go all in where you're like solving questions for like 3-4 hours every single day, so that in November, you have the max momentum. Okay, so let's go. This, I'm giving you the next set. And okay. Also, we have a free mentorship program. So if you guys are like just looking for some advice, a lot of you have a lot of questions about like your profile or about how your preparation strategy should be, when you should begin. If you want any kind of guidance about how to prepare for CAT, we have a free mentorship program also. So do check out, we are putting the link in the description box. You can like try to book a mentorship, like a mentorship session where the mentor can help you understand what your strengths are, weaknesses are, what your prep strategy should look like. So do check out our free mentorship program also. So I'll give you the set now. It is something in between arrangements and scheduling. So try to solve this set. Basic arrangements, this is like linear arrangement. Whenever it is linear arrangement, you have to draw out the arrangement. I would say that here there is a time order of things, right? So put the time order visually. So this is say 1 p.m. This is 1:10, 1:15. So make sure you keep drawing out all those things so that you can visually see when things start, when things end. If you draw it out, you will be able to solve it properly. Okay. So this is the set. And these are the conditions. This is conditions 1 to 4. This is condition 5, which is the last condition. This is question 1 and 2. And this is question 3 and 3 and 4. Okay, this is 3, 4, 5. This is 3, 4, and this is 5. Okay. Come on, guys, I want every one of you to try to solve this one. This, I would say, is a moderate difficulty level set. This can definitely be solved. It's not a trivially easy set, but not a difficult set also. The conditions, I'll focus on that. So in case somebody is, this is the 1, 2, 5 are the 5 conditions that you have to look at. Zoom out the conditions. Okay. Okay, guys, come on. You have 10 minutes. So workout Shishya said that he liked the quant sectional mocks, but they are finished. Can I get some more? We might give 5 additional quant mocks, but They're still in the process. But what I would suggest is that now that these sectionals are done, try to solve from the study room. I feel that you should try to do extended solving, like 3-4 hours of solving, which study room is much more geared towards. So try to solve more from the study room, because that would actually help you quite a bit. Ma'am, above conditions, please show. Okay, fine. The conditions above are here. There isn't much there, so it's just that there are 6 delivery people and the restaurant starts assigning at 12:45, 12:55. The entry, like before, from getting the assignment to entry is 5 minutes. From entry to exit is 15 minutes. Rajesh, you can definitely crack CAT if you have just started your preparation, but you have to be very, like you have to be very clear about what you have to do every single day. You have to have a proper plan and a schedule in place. If you guys are taking our CAT course, I think that it would make sure that all those decisions are made for you, so that you don't have to waste time thinking what I should be doing at any point of time. But in case you're not even taking our CAT course, what I would suggest is go to the course page and download the schedule. The schedule is available for free. So even if you just try to follow the schedule, that would also be fine, because then you will cover the syllabus. You will do things that are important first, and you will make sure that you're following like a proper schedule, so that you know that, okay, today I have to do this, tomorrow I have to do this. That way you will stay efficient. Okay. So these are the above conditions. This is 1 to 5 are the main conditions that you have to follow. That's good, Shubham. That's a very good chess.com score. Please give my answer. Give me Prince. I would say that focus on both VRC and LRDI. Both are slightly weak for you. See, if you are getting 98 in Quant, your basic aptitude is there. You have the ability to do well in LRDI. You have to focus on like practicing and solving a lot of sets in LRDI. A lot of people basically choke on the exam day due to pressure, and LRDI is that kind of section where if you have a lot of pressure on you, you'll not be able to solve the set. But if you practice a lot, you will not have that much pressure on actual exam day. So put some effort in LRDI. But if you're 98 percentile in Quant, I'm not worried that much about LRDI. On a good day, you should be able to clear LRDI. Also focus on VRC, because 68 percentile in VRC indicates that you do not have a reading habit, and that is going to take some time to make. So put like 2 hours for VRC, just develop your reading habit, and put like 1 hour for LRDI, just solving 2 sets every single day. Don't forget Quant also, keep solving Quant, do QA rush for example, so that you have practice of all three. Come on, guys. 6 minutes left. Try to solve this set. I would say, Akhil, I would, in your place, I would, if I was doing quant revision, I'd just take a look at whatever are the weak areas. I try to solve a lot of the questions from my weak areas so that they are not as bad as earlier. And I just do mixed practice, that I'll just do like daily target, or I'll do like quant rush, where I just practice from all sections. So mixed practice plus a special focus on weak areas would be a good way of revising the quant topics. You can start now, Dhanush. Again, July is a point of time where most people start their CAT preparation. So you're neither late nor is it that a lot of people are far ahead of you. Most students actually start in July. So you're not at all late when it comes to CAT preparation. Where to get the study plan? So basically go to the cracku.in course page. So you will see batches. Go to the batch page. There you can download the schedule for free. Yes, Shivam. So all those asking, can I start now and get a good percentile? Yes. From if you're starting in July, you need 3 hours every single day. If you give 3 hours every single day, you will be able to crack that. The question is of consistency. A lot of students begin and they give 3 hours for the first day, second day, but from the third day onwards, they kind of fall off the track. So if you're able to stay focused, stay consistent from now till November, July is also, there's sufficient time to crack that. Three, four, five question. I'll just. So this is 1, 2. This is 3, 4, and 5. I think, Nancy, if you are a repeater, solving more questions is more important for you because your basics would more or less be clear. Whenever you come across a question you can't solve, then go and see that video, go and see the concept video so that then if there is something that you don't know, then go and see that concept video. But for those people who have already, whose basics is clear, who are repeaters, they should focus more on solving a lot of questions. So what you are doing by solving questions from the study room is the right thing to do. Be consistent from now till CAT and you will definitely see a huge improvement in your scores. In mocks, you need to take more mocks. 1 mock per week is very good now. In like say November, make sure that you start practicing like taking more mocks and sectionals. Also take the previous year's papers as mocks. You should basically just start practicing and solving questions for 3-4 hours every single day. The extended practices essentially help build stamina that is needed for CAT. A lot of people find it like physically exhausting to like stay focused for 2 hours. You should not feel it that way. You should have that stamina to be like fully on for the entire 2 hours. You should be able to like solve a lot of questions without getting exhausted. Sandesh, I would say that if you are struggling in quants, just solve a lot of questions. I would say that put yourself a big target. Okay, I have to solve 3,000 questions and basically make an effort every single day to like solve 50 questions, 30, 40, 50 questions. Try to sit for extended periods of time because that way what will happen is that if you solve a lot of questions, you will get a lot of confidence. And if you have a lot of confidence, you won't feel overwhelmed. That feeling of overwhelm comes from the fact that you feel slightly underconfident. So if you have confidence, you won't feel scared by CAT Quant is no longer scary if you have done a lot of practice. Okay, guys, I haven't gotten any answers till now. So where Shubhang is giving me one answer. There are 45 seconds left, guys. Come on, I want more answers. It's an easy set. This is something that everybody can solve. Okay, thank you so much. Come on, guys. I need more people to attempt the questions. I need more people to try to answer it. See, okay. That's an interesting suggestion, Akshay. I'll try to see whether we can make an SOP tool for creating and reviewing SOPs. But it generally is something which is so personal that it requires a person who knows the individual. But I'll see whether we can do something. If we are doing something, it has to be good. So I'll just see whether we can do something like that. Okay, so the time is up. I have gotten answers for the first question, but not for the others. Fourth point, not understood. means that there is a 10-minute interval at least where only one person is there in the shop, and that it may not be the same person throughout, but the population inside the shop for that 10-minute period is exactly one. It can be two people where one goes out and immediately another one comes in, or it's just one person throughout. How do you know when to stop reiteration in any LRDI set? What I do is I go I do a read over of the conditions again just to see whether I've not missed any condition. I mark off all the conditions. If everything is marked off and I still do not get a final table, then I know for sure that this is the final table. Okay, so most of you have been able to give the first question, but not after that. So did you feel that this was a tough one? Did you feel that this was a difficult LRDI set? I don't think it's a difficult LRDI set if you know the right representation format. I try to show you the representation format. I hope that you try to follow that. But if you follow this format, it is not a difficult set. Okay, so let's see how to solve this one. I personally believe that the pain with LRDI comes from the fact that you don't know how to begin. But if I know how to begin, it generally is not very difficult. So let's see how to begin this set, how to show the information. And then once you start properly, right, then you just have to follow, you just have to keep filling values till you get the final answer. But getting that start right is very, very important. So we are told 6 delivery partners A, B, C, D, E, F are associated with a busy restaurant. The restaurant starts assigning orders at 12:55, and once an order is assigned, the corresponding delivery partners takes exactly 5 minutes to enter the restaurant, then exactly 15 minutes to collect the packed order and leave. Based on the following information, answer the questions that follow. So you have 6 delivery partners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whenever I don't know what to do, I draw a table. Because in LRDI, if I draw a table, I know that I'll find something. I'll find some pattern. Here, it is not necessary to draw a table. But whenever I feel confused, I draw a table because then I get at least some insight, some idea what is going on. So here I have 6 delivery partners. So you have A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, you have the order assignment time. Maybe this is too narrow. You have the order assignment time, you have the order pickup time, you have the order like when he leaves the restaurant. In addition to that, you have the period of time. Okay, say starting from 12:55. Even if he starts from 12:55, the first person to enter would be 5 minutes after 12:55. So I can comfortably start with 1 p.m. Okay, so this basically shows this is like a scheduling diagram. This is arrangement. This is the representation format for scheduling. Because this is a overlap of arrangement and scheduling, I'm drawing both the representation formats. Whichever one works, works. Okay, but I'm showing both of them because I do this for arrangement. I do this for scheduling. In scheduling, I'm going to start with 1 o'clock. I'm going to put like 5-minute intervals. If it is like between 5 minutes, I'll just like draw it slightly like that. So this is 1:05, 1:10, 1:15. Then this is 20, 25, 1:30, 35, 40, 1:45, 50, 55, and 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. This is my diagram. Okay, this is the representation format that I do for scheduling. I don't know whether which one will work, which one is the correct way to go about it, but I'll do both. Okay, so let's go to this. So I know it is 5 minutes for you to enter. So from the order assignment time to the entry is 5 minutes. To the exit is another plus 15 minutes. Okay, so this is what I want to figure out. Dinesh was assigned his order at 1:02 p.m. while Eon was assigned his order at 1:10 p.m. The difference between Farhan's and Chetan's entry time is exactly 34 minutes, with Farhan entering before Chetan. So Dinesh's order was assigned at 1:02 p.m. So what would be his entry time? It would be 1:07. What would be his exit time? It would be 1:22. Eon was assigned his order at 1:10. What would be his entry time? 1:15. What would be his exit time? 1:30. I don't know which one will help me actually solve it, but I'll draw it out also, because I just want to make sure that I can represent the information as visually as possible. So D, entry and exit is 107 to 122. So 107 would be somewhere over here. So from 107 to 122, this is 107, this is 122. We have D in the building. Okay. E comes in at 115 sharp and leaves at 130 sharp. So this is E from 115 to 130. Okay. Whatever I can draw out, I'll draw it out so that I can actually visually see what is happening. Okay. Difference between Farhan's and Chetan's entry time is 34 minutes. Okay. I can't do anything right now with that. So let it be. Vishnu entered the restaurant after Alok left, and Alok was already inside when Eon entered. So Alok was already inside, meaning his entry is less than 115 because he was already in when Eon entered. Before 140, there existed a continuous interval of at least 10 minutes during which exactly one delivery partner was present inside the restaurant, not necessarily the same individual throughout the interval. So that basically means that there are two possibilities. There was one individual who was there alone in the restaurant for an entire period of 10 minutes, at least. Could be 10 minutes, could be 15 minutes, whatever. But at least 10 minutes, there was one person. Or we have the condition where we have a period of 10 minutes or more than 10 minutes where one person leaves and exactly at the same time another person enters. So then you have, while the same person has not been in the restaurant, you have the population inside the restaurant is exactly one for a period of 10 minutes. Okay. The restaurant was never empty after 1 o'clock and the last person left at 1:49. If the last person left at 1:49, this is his exit time. Okay, what would his entry time be? 15 minutes less than that. So he would enter at 1:34 sometime. He would get his order at 1:29. What would be the first person to enter the restaurant? So we are told that the restaurant was never empty after 1 o'clock, which means that there was somebody in the restaurant always from 1 o'clock till 1:49. So somebody has to enter at 1 o'clock. So the first entry time would be what? The first entry time has to be 1 p.m. 1 p.m. is the entry time, first entry time. 1:34 is the last entry time. 1:34, 1 o'clock. What is the difference between the first entry time and the last entry time? 34 minutes. Is there any clue which said that? 34 minutes. Where is that clue? Where is that clue? Here. The difference between Farhan's and Chetan's entry times is exactly 34 minutes. Can 34 minutes be the gap between anybody else? No. First and last is the max gap that exists. The first person to come in versus the last person to come in. Every other gap will be less than 34 minutes because they will be coming in middle and leaving in middle. So the largest gap that exists is 34 minutes, and that is between the first guy and the last guy. And who are the first guy and last guy then? So that is Farhan and Chetan in some order. Farhan enters before Chetan. So Farhan is the first person to enter. He enters at 1 p.m. and Chetan enters at 1:34 p.m. This is what I can infer based on the second clue. If he enters at 1:34 p.m., he exits at 1:49 p.m. He gets the order at 1:29 p.m. Okay, he enters at 1 p.m. He gets the order at 12:55. That is just as the restaurant opens, and he exits at 1:15 p.m. So I've been able to put the values of C, D, E, F fairly easily. Let me draw it out also so that I can see. C, where should I draw? C is 129. He enters at 1:34. Okay, so C somewhere here, this is 34 to 49. So this is C over here. This is 1:34 to 1:49. And we have F, which is at 12:55, 1 to 1:15. So F is over here, which is 1 to 1:15. This is F. So I have been able to put 4 people. Visually, I've been able to represent the entry and exit times of 4 people. Anybody who didn't understand any part of this, just let me know. Can anybody tell me that any part of this is not understandable or not visible? Also, just let me know if it is not visible. Everybody's clear till now? So 4 people I have been able to figure out. I have not been able to figure out that of A and B. Okay, sorry, I have put this kind of incorrectly because I put A over here. Okay. Bishu didn't enter at 1:15. This guy, A, entered at 1:15. So let me write it properly. I put it at the very top, so don't have any space there. So A entered before 1:15 because A was already inside when A1 entered. So we have to figure out where A and B entered and exited. That's the only two things that are left. Everything else is filled in the table. Now we have to use the remaining clues to figure out when A entered and when B entered. Would this first clue help us? No, I've used whatever is there in the first clue. This I have entirely used up. I can mark it off. Difference between this has helped us figure out when F and C entered. Entirely used up, I can mark it off. Bishu entered the restaurant after Alok left, and Alok was already inside when Aon entered. So Alok entered somewhere before 1:15 because Aon entered at 1:15. So he has to enter before 1:15. Alok will be somewhere over here. His 15 minutes block will be somewhere over here. It will be between 1 to 1:15. Somewhere the block will start and it will end before 1:30. Somewhere it is in this half of the diagram. Okay. B enters after Alok leaves. So B will come afterwards. Okay. That also I can say. Before 1:40, there existed a 10-minute. This is what I have to use. This I have not used entirely. So this is what I have to use. Before 1:40 p.m., there existed a continuous interval of at least 10 minutes during which exactly one person, delivery partner, was present inside the restaurant, not necessarily the same individual throughout the interval. So that means that from this 1:30 to 1:40, or like from some period of time, there has to be a person, only exactly one person has to be in the this, not 1:30, anywhere from 1 to 1:40. This is 1:40 p.m. Anywhere in this 40-minute interval, there have to be 10 minutes such that there is exactly one person in the restaurant. Can it be from here to here, 1 to 1:15? No, because firstly, here D and F are overlapping. So the 10-minute interval cannot be over here. Okay, 10-minute interval cannot be over here also because till 1:22, okay, you have D and E also overlapping. A is also somewhere over here, so he'll also be overlapping. So from here, 1 to 1:22, I will not find a single interval such that there's a 10-minute window where there's only one person in the shop. There is, if I try to find, okay, I'm like cutting into two people at least. There is no 10-minute window. 10-minute is 2-tick window. I need 2-tick window such that only one person is there. I have a chance of at that 2-tick window after D leaves. Okay, after D leaves at 1:22, from this point of time to this 1:34, I have 12 minutes. If B enters in such a way that he does not overlap with E, E is over here, right? If B does not overlap with E, then I can try to have a 10-minute window with no overlap. I have to basically put E over here. A will not be after 1:22. Why will A not be after 1:22? Because he is going to, he can essentially come in this window, but I want that extended 10-minute window such that nobody will be, like only E will be there in the shop or B will be in the shop, but only one person has to be in the shop. So my window possibly starts from 1:22 to 1:34. Why after 1:34 I don't have that window? Because firstly I have to finish it by 1:40. Okay, I have to finish it by 1:40, and that basically C is already there. So I have to put B in such a way that B is going to be after A leaves. A has to be in such a way that he doesn't overlap, and B also has to be in such a way that he also doesn't overlap with E or C so much. He doesn't overlap in such a way that this 10-minute window I have, okay, 1:22 to 1:34, it doesn't get spoiled. That is what basically I want. So where should I put B? I have to basically put B after Alok left, but he has to be put before C enters because C is the last person to leave. So B cannot be put here also. So I have to put B somewhere in this area in such a way that he overlaps in a way that he gives me a 10-minute window with no overlap. There should be 10-minute window with zero overlap. If I put B over here, what will happen? If I put it at 1:22, I will not have a 10-minute window. He will overlap with E over here. Even if I say that, okay, he does not overlap much with C, my 10-minute window has to finish before 1:34. So it has to start at least by, it has to finish by 1:40. So it has to start at least by 1:30. So even if I say my 10-minute window is over here, B has to be out by 1:30, but then he will basically, we do not have a continuous 10-minute window where there is only one person in this, because if he is like from 1:30 to this, I have to basically say that, okay, if it is 1:30 to 1:40, this is the 10-minute window. E and B will not overlap. That is what I have to do. If I put him before 1:30, what will happen? Nobody will be there between 1:30 to 1:34, but exactly one person has to be there. A cannot be here. So E has to be there between 1:30 and 1:34, but he has to be in such a way that he does not overlap, and I get a clean 1:30 to 1:34 window, 1:30 to 1:40 window. So what does that mean? I should basically put E at B at exactly 1:30. So what will happen? From 1:20 to 1:30, there are 8 minutes with only E in the restaurant. And from 1:30 to 1:34, there is only B in the restaurant. So I have a 12-minute window, not 10 minutes. I have more than 12 minutes, at least like 12 minutes possible window where there is only one person in the restaurant. So here, if I say B comes in exactly at 1:30, then he does not overlap with E. I get that extended window that is there. If E and B overlap, what will happen? If say B comes over here and E and B overlap, then there will be something right in the middle of our 10-minute window. In the middle of it only, there will be a patch where there are two people in the restaurant. So because of that, E and B should not overlap. This window is my golden window. E and B should be such that E exits the restaurant, B enters the restaurant. So B has to come in at 1:30 exactly. If he comes a minute earlier, what will happen? Here, E and B will overlap. And again, I will not have that condition fulfilled where exactly one person is there in the restaurant. If say B comes after 1:30, what will happen if B comes after 1:30? If B comes after 1:30, suppose he comes at 1:32, then the other condition will be violated. That somebody is continuously in the restaurant from 1 o'clock to 1:49. Somebody has to continuously be in the restaurant. So if he comes at 1:32, then for those 2 minutes, nobody will be there in the restaurant. So B cannot come after 1:30. B cannot come before 1:30. So B has to come exactly at 1:30. If he comes at 1:30, what time would he leave at? He will leave at 1:45 p.m. If he comes at 1:30, he gets the order at 1:25 p.m. Okay, so this is basically what we can say. He comes at 1:30 and he leaves at 1:45. Now, where is A? I have to have a 10-minute window, at least a 10-minute window. Right now, I have a 12-minute window from 1:22 to 1:34. It need not be 12 minutes. I can basically have A over here also slightly overlapping with E, but such a way that it should not go beyond 1:24. See, if A is over here, okay, he exits before 1:22. What is the window that I get? I get a 12-minute window. If A is over here and he exits at 1:23, how many minutes window do I get? I get an 11-minute window. If A is over here and he exits at 1:24, how many minutes window do I get? I get an exactly 10-minute window between 24 and 34. So that is the latest A can leave. Because suppose A leaves at 1:25, then how many minutes window will I get? 1:34 to 1:25, it is a 9-minute window which violates the condition that is there. So the latest A can possibly leave is 1:24. So he has to leave at or exactly at 1:24 or before 1:24. So this has to be the exit time for A. If this has to be the exit time for A, what is the entry time for A? 15 minutes less than that. So he has to enter before or at 1:09 p.m. If he has to enter before 1:09 p.m., he has to get the order before or at 1:04 p.m. Everybody understood that? Is there something this? Okay, I think some people did not understand. 1:15 and end of 1:40. How much time should I this? 1:32. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll just tell. I think the one thing that you guys might not have understood, which I also did not properly explain maybe, is why B has to come at 1:30. So let me explain that again. See, everything else is fairly simple. Okay, everything else, C, D, E, F, entry time is fairly simple. But B's entry time is basically the only one which has to come from rule number 4. What does rule number 4 say? That there's a 10-minute window where there's exactly one person in the restaurant. Now let us take a look at our diagram. Okay, forget where B is for this moment. Okay, we have put everybody else. We have put F, D, E, C, but we have not put A and B. Can you tell me where the window can be where we have 10 minutes without anybody, with only one person being in the restaurant? A has to come before E, which means that A has to start somewhere over here. A is over here. We don't know the start time, but he is before E, somewhere before E. B has to enter after A leaves. So B has to be somewhere over here. We don't know exact entry time. We don't know exact exit time. But A has to be before E comes in at 1:15. So A has to be somewhere in this part and B has to be somewhere in this part. Now, how should A and B be so that I have a 10-minute window with exactly one person in the restaurant? In this part, okay, how many people are there in the restaurant? There is F, there is A, there is D, there is E. There's quite a few people in the restaurant. I don't have a single window of continuous 10 minutes where only one person is in the restaurant. It cannot be because there are too many people. So till D leaves, at least I don't have a chance. Because A, F, D, their arrival entry time into the restaurant kind of overlap. So at least till D leaves, I don't have a chance of having exactly one person in the restaurant. So till D leaves, my window cannot start. This is 1:22. Okay. Now, when is the end time of our window? Our end time of the window, as they have said, is 1:40. Okay. Before 1:40, I should have a 10-minute window where only one person is in the restaurant. So the window has to start somewhere around 1:22 and has to end before 1:40. Where can I fit my 10 minutes window? It can be 1:22 to 1:32. It can be 1:23 to 1:33, 1:24 to 1:34, and so on. But what should be the only issue is that how should I organize it so that it happens? See, over here, suppose B and E overlap and B and C also overlap. What will happen? When B and E overlap, what will happen? There will be two people in the restaurant, so we can't take it. We'll have to wait till E leaves. E leaves at 1:30. So then we'll say that, okay, from 1:30, suppose this overlaps, okay? Suppose B is in the restaurant at, say, 1:25, okay? B enters, say, at 1:25. So he and E will overlap for these 5 minutes. E leaves at 1:30, right? So he and E will overlap for 5 minutes. So from 1:25 to 1:30, there are two people in the restaurant. So that is violating my condition. So I'll have to wait until E leaves. So then I'll say at 1:30, my time starts. 1:30 to 1:34 is fine. Only B is there in the restaurant. But again, 1:34, C enters the restaurant. I'm like, what is going on? Now C has entered the restaurant. Again, I do not have my like extended window that I want, which means that if I put B over here and B and E overlap, because C enters at 1:34, again over here there is again an overlap of these two. If he enters at 1:25, he is leaving at 1:40. Again, there is a 6-minute overlap. So I don't get my 10-minute window with only one person in the restaurant. So B and E, the moment they overlap, I have a problem, because then I do not get my 10-minute window with only one person in the restaurant. So B and E cannot overlap. So therefore, I can say that I have to put B in such a way that he and E don't overlap. So where should I put B? I should either make sure that C and B don't overlap, or I should make sure E and B do not overlap. If C and B do not overlap, okay, so then he has to enter before 1:29, he has to exit by 1:34. But at that point of time, you will start by saying, okay, 1:30 to 1:40, he has to exit by 1:34, he has to enter by 1:19, and if he has to enter by 1:19, A has to exit by 1:19. That also does not happen, because you have to have B in this period that is there. So that means that B and C can overlap, but E and B cannot overlap. So if E and B do not overlap, what is the earliest I can have B in enter? The earliest I can have B enter is over here at 1:30. Before that, I cannot have B enter. What is the latest I can have B enter? See, if B enters after 1:30, what will happen? If say B enters at say 1:32, from 1:30 to 1:32, how many people are there in the restaurant? 0. Does it violate a condition? Yes. So B has to enter exactly at 1:30 p.m., which means that he has to leave exactly at 1:45 p.m. Okay, that is the basic condition that we have to take care of. Okay, how would 1:32? How can? No, how would the 1:32 be? I'm saying that B cannot enter at 1:32. It is impossible. So from that, I can say that this B has to be over here. The continuous period that we have, we don't know where A is, but the possible period that we can consider is from 122 to 140, because A and B do not overlap. From 122 to 140, we could potentially have a non-overlap period, provided A leaves before 122. Even if A does not leave before 122, it is fine. We need 10 minutes. We have 12 minutes right now. Suppose A leaves by 123. Even that is fine. From 123 to 134, 123 to 134, we have 11 minutes. Even that is fine. That's also not a problem. Suppose A leaves at 124. That is also okay. Why? Because from 124 to 134, we have our 10-minute period. But A leaves at 125, that will create a problem, because then we'll have only a 9-minute window where one person is there in the this. So A has to leave before 1:24 p.m., which means that he has to enter before 1:09 p.m. Now that I have this table, I don't have a fixed value for A. For everybody else, I have a fixed value, but for A, I don't have a fixed value. So let's go and answer the questions. For how long? Okay, which of the following cannot be the time which Alok enters the restaurant? Alok can enter at or before 1:09. He cannot enter after 1:09. Of these 4 options, which one is after 1:09? Option C. So he cannot enter at this particular time. For how long were Bishnu and Chetan together in the restaurant? In minutes. Bishnu enters at 1:30, leaves at 1:45. Chetan enters at 1:34, leaves at 1:49. For how much time were they together? They were together since Chetan entered and Bishnu left. So 1:34 Chetan enters. The overlap is between 1:34 to 1:45 p.m. So they were together for 11 minutes. For how long was B alone in the restaurant in terms of minutes? How long was B alone? So B is alone from the time that E leaves at 1:30 and before C enters. So 30 to 34, he is alone for 4 minutes. So the correct option is option A, 4 minutes. What is the maximum time in minutes for which Eon and Alok can be in the restaurant together? So we want to maximize the overlap of A and E. A should enter max by 1:09. E enters at 1:15. If I want to maximize the overlap, what should I do? I should make him enter at 1:09. So then they will overlap the most. He will then leave at 1:24. This guy leaves at 1:24. This guy enters at 1:15. So the overlap is when this guy enters and this guy leaves. So that is of 9 minutes. So the max overlap that is there between A and E is of 9 minutes. So this is the basic idea. I solved this by 2 methods. One is I have to see the visual representation to see where B can fit. Because just seeing this, it was not enough. I had to visualize where B can fit. And secondly, for drawing this table also, if I draw this table, it becomes easy for me to figure out the entry and exit time. I can say that, okay, this person enters here, exits here. From that also, I can figure out what should be the entry time, what should be the exit time. Okay, so this is when you are given something which is like hybrid of scheduling and arrangement. Draw the representation format of both of them. Okay, let's go to this. Okay. No worries, Struck. Even if you are able to understand, confidence will come after solving a few questions. So no worries, even if you are not super confident, as long as you got it, I'm happy. One thing that I would mention to guys, if you guys have not downloaded the Cracku app, please download the Cracku app, because what we do is we keep sending reminders through the app about daily targets. It will help you be more consistent with your daily target practice. So if you haven't downloaded the Cracku app, please download it. The daily targets are free on the same day. So if you develop the habit of solving daily targets every single day, that will help you tremendously in November. Okay, so let's go to the next set. It's a simple calculation set. What I will tell you, what you have to do in these kind of calculation sets is, First, see the table that is there. You have population, rural population in percentage, literacy rate in percentage, number of women per 1,000 men. You have basically 920 women per 1,000 men. So you have a ratio that is there. But the questions are not in this format. What are the questions like? Questions are like maxima, minima types. So your questions are, okay, what is the maximum literacy rate among urban men? If literate population is this, then how many states have urban population be 100% literate, and so on. So what you can see is that you need absolute numbers. You need numbers of how many are urban, how many are rural. You need number of literate versus illiterate, men versus women. So what you need to do is take the percentage information that is there, the ratio information that is there, and convert it into absolute numbers. The moment you convert it into absolute numbers, you will be able to solve all the questions that are there. So the basic idea is when a table is given and that table itself is useless, you have to convert that table to a useful form. And that useful form is basically you have to convert percentages to absolute values, which will help you answer. You have to convert ratios to absolute values, which will help you answer. Okay, this is what I would tell you. This is the hint. With that, I'll start the timer, guys. You have 12 minutes to solve this set, and the table is right here. There is no need for me to change the table or move the table, but these are the questions. This is question number 1. This is question number 2. This is question number 3. Unenrolled students can also download the app. If you're a free user also, you can download the app, you can register yourself, you can also take for free the CAT daily targets every single day. Okay. This is question number 4. And this is question number 5. Okay, so these are the 5 questions. Your 11 minutes are up. The timer is on, and I want all of you to solve it. It's just a calculation intensive set. There is nothing much to it. It's a very doable set. I want all of you to try to solve it. Come on, guys. So Akhil is asking, can we access the daily target questions and answers later also? If you are a premium student of Cracku, if you have taken the daily target premium access, you can access it the next day. But otherwise, if you're a free student, it is free for that day only. So if you want to be a free student, be regular. That's the only thing. If you want to access it later on, then you have to basically take a premium access. These are the first 2 questions. Solve them first. I think if you have attempted it, you can see your own history, your own solved questions you can see. Come on, guys. 5 minutes there. Okay, guys. I'm sure first question could be answered by now. Can somebody tell me if they have answered the first question? Come on, guys. You have 2 minutes left. Come on, answer all the questions. They are very doable questions. This is an easy set. Everyone can answer this one. Okay, 1B, 2D. Okay. This is 3. And I think you made a slight mistake in the first question at least. This is 4. You can pause the video and answer the questions. And this is 5. It's 3, 4 over here. Last 40 seconds. Okay, so the time is up. I at least like that Roshan tried to solve it. I think you're mostly there, but you might have made a few calculation mistakes or something like that. But I think this is just calculation intensive. You guys have to use the calculator, get the right answer. It's an easy set. So let's see how to solve the set. Use a color which is slightly more visible. So we are given this table of information. A, B, C, D, E are the 5 states. Its rural population percentage is given. Literacy rate percentage is given. Number of women per 1000 men is given. So that's a ratio. My first thing that I would try to do is convert this into a table where I have, instead of this percentage and all, I have basically hard numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and I will try to make sure that I calculate and fill the value only if I really need it. If I don't need it, I'll not fill the value. So you have population, you have rural population, urban population. This urban population, I think there's too much space. Population, rural population, urban population, literate population, illiterate population, men and women. This is my final table. Okay, you have A, B, C, D, E. You have population, rural, urban, literate, illiterate, men and women. Okay, so when it comes to population, we can write it down as it is. This is 720, this is 400, this is 420, this is 350, this is 640. The rural population, I had to basically multiply the percentage with this value. So what is 40% of 72? 10% is 70, 40% of 720, 10% is 72. So 4 times that, this will be 288. What would be the urban value then? That would be basically 720 minus 288. So that would be 420 plus 12. So that would be 432. This would be the urban population. Literacy rate is 50%. So half is literate. So 360 are literate, 360 are illiterate. Men to women ratio is how much? For every 1000 men, there is 920 women. So men are basically how much? They are 1000 by 1920 of the population, which is 720. How much is this? This I cancel with this. 1920 is 96 into 2. 96 is basically, this is 24 into 30 times. This is 24 into 8 times. So this is 3000 by 8. You can say 4 and 15. This is 25 into 15. 25 into 15 will be how much? This is 125 into 3, 375. So this would be 375, which would mean that the women are how much? 25, 45, 345 are women. 375 are men, 345 are women. Then we will have the required ratio. Okay, this is fine. Should I fill everything like that? No, unless I actually need it, I'm not going to fill the table. So I'll go to the question only when the question asks for it, or we need to actually calculate. Then only calculate. Don't fill the table unnecessarily. So the first question is, in the rural region of state A, all women, that is 188 lakh, are literate, and all men are illiterate. The literacy rate among the urban men in state A is at least. So rural women, that is all women in rural areas, is 188. How much is the total population of rural population? It is 288. So out of these 288, it is 188 188 lakh are women and they are literate, which would mean that the remaining 100 lakh are men and they are illiterate. Okay, this is 188 lakh women. How many women are there in total? That is 345. So 345 women, 188 of them. Okay, 188 lakh are how much? They are rural. So how many urban women are there? That would be 345 minus 188. How much is that? Can somebody tell me quickly? That would be 145 plus 12. So that would be 157 lakh would be urban women. Now, if in urban areas, 157 lakh urban women are there. What is the population of urban areas? 432. Out of these 432, 157 are urban women. So how many urban men are there? 432 minus 157. How much is that? This would be 250 plus 32. 250 plus 32 is, sorry, 250 is 407 plus 25. So 275 is the urban men. Then I'll get my required 432 that is there. We are asked the literacy rate among urban men in the state A is at least. If I wanted to reduce the literacy rate over here, whose literacy rate should I increase? I should increase the literacy rate of the urban women. Then this value will be depressed. I have already 188 lakh people, 188 lakh women from rural areas are literate. How many literate women are there? How many total literate people are there? 360 literate people are there. 360 minus this 188. Okay, how many literate people are remaining? This would be how much? This is 2, this is, sorry, 5, this is 2, this is 15, this is 7, this is 172 literate people are remaining. Now let me see who should I say are the remaining literate. Anyway, the 100 lakh men are already in the rural area are illiterate. Literate women in rural area is done. Illiterate men in rural area is done. I want to minimize the number of urban men who are literate. So what will I do is I'll say that let max number of urban women be literate. Let all 157 of these be 100% literate. So from my 172, I'll put all of the 157 over here. How much am I left with? I'm left with 15 lakh. So I'll say that these 15 lakh, where can they go? Can they go with the 100 lakh or rural men? No, we are told that they are illiterate. The only place left for them to go is for urban men. So at the very least, out of these 275 urban men that are there, 15 lakh urban men have to be literate. So the least ratio of urban literacy among men is 15 lakh urban men have to be literate out of how many? 275. This is the least value that is there. This into 100% is how much? Can somebody tell me from this point of time how much is this value? 15 by 275 into 100%. Shubhan got it right. Trucken also got it right. What is this value? This value, this is 25 times 11. This is 25 times 4. So this is 60 by 11%. How much is this? This is 5.45%. So I have to put in 5.45. Where are the options? Do I have 5.45? Yes, I have option D, which is 5.45. So option D is the correct answer. The second question is, I'll erase all of this. So the second question is, if the literate population staying in, okay, ma'am, once again explain. Okay, so I'll just quickly tell you what was the case. How did we solve this one? Okay, you have this row, I'm sure is easily understood because I just converted the percentages in absolute values. You have 288 rural persons, okay, 288 rural persons, of it 188 women are literate. So 188 women are literate, they are gone. 100 men are there in rural areas, those 100 men are illiterate. So you have basically four things, right? Rural men, rural women, urban men, urban women. So out of these four, how many are literate? 188 literate in rural areas, women. 100 illiterate in rural areas, men. You have only urban women and urban men literacy remaining to be considered. So you have to then consider that, okay, how many, if these are the number of women that are there, how many urban women are there? The total number of women that are there is 345. So if 188 rural women are there, then are 157 urban women are there. If 157 urban women are there, how many urban men are there? There are 432 urban, population of urban areas is 432. Of that, if I remove 157, there are 275 urban men. So the total population of the urban men and urban women is what? 275 urban men, 157 urban women. I want to minimize the literacy rate among urban men. What will I do? I'll put the remaining literate population as much as possible in the urban women category. So then I will minimize the number of literate urban men. how many literate people are remaining? The literacy rate is 50%, right? So 360 literate people are there, of which 188 is gone. So 360 minus 188, we are left with 172. 172 is more than this 157 over here. If it was less than it, I would have assigned all of those literate people among the urban women. यहाँ पे 0 हो जाता, and I'd say that the least percentage is 0%. But 172 is greater than this 157, meaning even if I make the entire urban women literate, I'm still left with 15 lakh illiterate people. These 15 lakh literate people cannot be the rural women, that is already 100% literate. It cannot be the rural men, that is 0% literate. This, if 157 is already 100% literate, so where will this remaining 15 lakh go? It has to go among urban men. So at the very least, 15 lakh out of 272 lakh urban men are literate. So the least percentage of urban literacy among men is 15 divided by 275. I get that as 5.45%. Okay, I hope it is clear now, everybody. Okay, now let's go to the second question. Why aren't we doing the ratio for urban and then doing it? Ratio thing for urban, we already did the ratio thing. See this 1920 to 1000, basically I calculated how many men are there using that ratio. So for every 1000 men, there are 922 women. So the number of men is 1000 divided by 1000 plus 920. So then you got the number of men, you got the number of women. So from that you got the answer. Okay, so let's go to the second question. The second question is, if the literate population staying in urban area is maximum possible, then in how many states can the urban population be 100% literate? So we are asked, okay, the literate population living in urban areas is the max possible. So we want 100% literacy in urban areas. For that, what do I need? I need the number of literate people that are there. I need the number of urban population that is there. If urban population is less than literate population, then I can say it is possible that 100% literacy is there. But if the urban population is more than the literate population, now then it is not possible that there is 100% literacy. So I need this column for all states, I need this column for all states. So let me go ahead and fill those columns. So firstly, B, we have 70% rural population, so this becomes 280, this becomes 120. 55% of 420 would be how much? That would be 210 plus 21, so that would be 231. So this remaining would be 69 plus 89 would be 320, 189 would be 420. 350, 64% is the rural population, so that would mean that how much would that be? So 64 into 3.5, which would be 180 plus, and just calculate, 64 into 3.5, so this is 180 plus 12, 192 plus 32, so this would be how much? This is 224. Okay, so this means that 224 is the rural population. So how much is the urban population? That would be this minus this, so this is 26. 126 would be the urban population. Okay, and we have over here, we have that 640, 30% is rural population, so 30% of this would mean that you have 180, 192 is rural, which means that the remaining 70% has to be urban, so that is 420 plus 28, so that is 448 is urban population. Now I have the urban population column, I need the literate column. Wherever the literacy column is greater than the urban population column, it is possible that the urban population is 100% literate. It's not necessary, but it is possible. But if the literate column is less than the urban population column, it is impossible that we will have 100% urban literacy. So we have to calculate the literacy rate also. 55% of 400, what is 55% of 400? This is 220. 45% of 420, this would be 168 plus 21. 168 plus 21 is 189. Okay, this is exact, just equal. 44% of 350, so that would be how much? 4% would be 14. 44% would be 140 plus 14, 154. And 60% of 640, so this would be 360 plus 24, 384. Okay. Now I have these two columns in front of me. Is it possible that the entire urban population is literate? Urban population is 432, literate population is 360. 432 is greater than 360. So it's impossible for the entire urban population to be literate. B, 120, is it less than 220? Yes, which means that all of these 120 could possibly be literate. So it is possible for the entire urban population of B to be literate. 189, 189, just equal. It is possible that all of these are the literate people. The entire rural area is illiterate, the entire urban area is literate. So C also it is possible. D, 126 is less than 154? Yes, so it is possible that D is also 100% urban literacy. 448, 384, not possible. The number of urban people is more than the number of literate people. So again, E is not possible, which means that we have B, C, D, 3 states where it is possible that there is 100% literacy. So how many of these can have urban population be 100% literate? That is option C. Option C, 3 states, B, C, D can have 100% literacy rate. Okay. Let's go to the third question. In each state, 10% of the rural population migrates to the urban areas of the same state. If this population is illiterate, then which state would have the highest literacy rate in the urban areas? So we are told, okay, 10% of this, okay, 10% of this rural population migrates to the urban areas, and we have to calculate that if this is illiterate, okay, we have to find the literacy rate of the urban areas. So let us say that the initial literacy rate of the urban area is say A%. So how many literates were there earlier? It would be A% of the urban area. This would be the literate number of people. Plus now you will get 0 extra literate people. And the number of people would increase by 10% of rural areas. So earlier you had urban area plus 10% of rural area. This would be the total number of people that will be there. So you know how many people are there in the urban area. This value is known, this value is known, this value is also known. But do we have the starting value of literacy rate in the urban area? Do we know how much percentage of the urban area is literate? No, we don't know that. So unless we know this value, we cannot calculate what is the new average literacy rate. Unless we knew how many literates were there already in the urban areas, we cannot calculate the new literacy rate. So can we determine this answer? No, we cannot determine this answer. If we had been told what was the starting literacy rate, then we could have found out what is the end literacy rate. But this, without the starting literacy rate, we cannot find the answer. If 70% of the literate population of each state lives in the urban areas, then which state has the lowest percentage of literacy in rural areas? Now we are asked, okay, 70% of the literate people, 70% of this lives in urban areas. So what state has the lowest population in rural areas? Lowest literacy rates in rural areas. See, if 70% of literate population lives in urban areas, how much percentage of the literate population lives in the rural areas? The remaining 30%. So we have to find out the lowest percentage of literacy rate. So we have to find out which ratio. So 30% of literates divided by the rural population. For all the states that are there, we have to find out for which state is this ratio the lowest. We have to find the lowest literacy rate, right, among all of these areas, lowest percentage of literacy rate. So we have to find this ratio. Do we have to find it for all 5 states? No, because only 4 options are there, A, D, E, C. So for these 4 states, I have to find what is 30% of L divided by R. The one with the lowest ratio is my answer. So let me see. I already have L, I already have R. So for A, how much is it? A, 30% into 360 divided by R, which is 288. Then you have C, you have, this is 30% of 189 divided by 231. E it is, D it is 30% of 154 divided by 224. Okay, and E, I have 30% of 384 divided by 192. Now I can use a calculator, I can calculate each of these values, but I have to compare and I have to find out the least ratio. Can I do that without using a calculator? Because a calculator is tedious. Can I quickly compare ratios so that I can find out what is the lowest ratio without doing a lot of calculation? So firstly, I'll actually convert these numerators into absolute values. 30% of 360 is 108. Okay, 30% of 189 would be how much? It would be 189 into 0.3, so that would be 540 plus 54 plus 2.7, 56.7. This is 56.7. This is 30% of 154, so that would be 45 plus 12, so 46.2. Okay, 46.2. And 30% of 384 would be how much? 384. So that would be 0.3 times this. So 3 times this. 90 plus 24, 114. 115.2. Okay, this would be 115.2. Now, just looking at the ratios, can you tell me which ratios are definitely higher? Which would be definitely higher ratio? Look at these ratios, okay? This 102 and 231. 108 by 288 and 56.7 by 231. Which one do you think is the higher ratio of these two? Without even like calculating, which is definitely a higher ratio of these two? 108 and 288. So 108 and 288, see, this is somewhere around 1/4. This is more than 1/3. So which one would be value? Which value will be higher? Would it be A or would it be C? This is less than 1/4. Less than 1/4. This is definitely greater than 1/4. This is greater than 1/3. So I can definitely say that this value is less than this value. I have to find the lowest value, right? So I can say that A is definitely not the lowest value. Similarly over here, consider C and E, comparison of C and E. Here the numerator is greater, the denominator is smaller. Between C and E, which is the greater ratio? If numerator is higher, denominator is lower, E is definitely higher. I need not even calculate. I can just ignore that ratio. It is definitely higher. Now I am left with C and D. C and D, this is 56.7, this is 231. This is 46.2, this is 224. Okay. So what can I say? Can I compare it or should I just calculate? Can I say which one will be lower? See, between these two, if I have to compare, okay, if you have a proper ratio, like say 3/7, okay, 3/7 would be less than 3 plus x divided by 7 plus x, such that x is some positive value. It will be less than it. It's a property of the ratios that if I add some number to the numerator and denominator, as long as the initial ratio is a proper ratio, it will become a greater value. So here, if I start with 46.2, here what do I have to add? 46.2. So here, if I add, it will become this would be around, if I'm comparing both of these, 46.2, I'll add 10.5, okay? So here, I'll have a greater value by adding both of them. Okay, so 46.2 and 224. If I add 10.5 to the numerator and denominator, what do I get? This will be less than 56.7 will be less than, this will be 2. I have to add 10.5 to the denominator. So this would be 34.5. So 46.2 will be divided by 224 is less than 56.7 divided by 234.5. But this is less than this. Why? Because the numerator is the same, but the denominator here is lesser. So if the denominator is lesser, the fraction is higher. So this is less, this is greater than this. So what can I say? Which fraction out of all of these is lesser? Between C and D, which is the smaller fraction? It's not C, D is the smaller fraction. So out of the 4 options, which is the lowest percentage that is there? The lowest percentage without calculating also I can say is B. By just keeping the fractions there, Try to see and compare the fractions, eliminate wherever you see a higher fraction is there. Try to eliminate those options, and without calculating, as much as possible through just comparison of fractions, find the lowest percentage value that is there. Okay, anybody has any question about how I did that? Anybody didn't figure out how did I do it, how did I remove it? Okay, so the correct answer is D. Last question. If 40% of the female population in each state lives in the rural area, in how many states does the percentage of urban women exceed 80%? So again over here, what do I need? 40% of the female population in each state lives in the rural areas. In how many states does the percentage of urban women exceed 80%? If 40% of the female population lives in rural areas, how much percentage lives in urban areas? 60%. So 60% of the female population, okay, that divided by the urban population has to be greater than how much? That has to be greater than 80%. Okay, so for this female population of the state lives in area, I have to find the number of women now. Till now I was not trying to find the number of women, but unfortunately I have to find the number of women. So here I have to fill all of this. I have to find out how many women are there, and then I have to say, okay, if the 60% of this female population divided by the urban population, is it greater than 80%? I have to find for all of these 5 states. Till now I was like avoiding that, but there is no avoiding it. I have to fill it. So let us go ahead and do it. Okay. Okay, C, D, E. And let us figure out where this condition is met. Now the number of women is basically 914 divided by 1000 of the overall population. So I'll keep it that way. So I'll keep it, this is 60% into 914 divided by 1914 of the population, which is for here it is. So here for the first value, I have already calculated. So this is 60% of 345 divided by the urban population, which is 432. Is this greater than 80%? See, firstly, 345 by 432 is less than 1. Some number less than 1 into 60%, would it be greater than 80%? No, it is not possible. So for A, at least I can directly say, not a chance. Let's see the next value, B, okay? 60% of the female population is 400 into the 914 by 1914. This divided by the urban population. Urban population is how much? 120. Okay. Can this be greater than 80%? This is possible. If I can find out what this value is, then it is possible. Can somebody quickly tell me how much this value is? If somebody can quickly find out what this value is, then we can say that, okay, is this greater than 80%? Is this not greater than 80%? So what is 400 into 914 by 1914? If I calculate that, you can use the calculator that is there. For such kind of sets, you should definitely use the calculator. As much as possible, avoid the calculator, but sometimes avoiding it is not possible. Okay, so here you have 400 into 914 divided by 1914. Okay, so you get, which is, this part is 191 women are there. So this is 191 women. Okay, now tell me, this is 120. 191 by 120 is 60% of this 191 by 120. Is it greater than 80% or not greater than 80%? Can somebody quickly tell me? See, for something 60% and 80%, I have to essentially multiply by a ratio which is greater than 4 by 3. If 191 by 120 is greater than 4 by 3, then 60% of that will be greater than 80%. Okay, 60% into 4 by 3 is 80%. So I have to figure out, is 191 by 120 greater than 4 by 3? See, 160 by 120 is 4 by 3. So 191 by 120 is definitely greater than 4 by 3. So this ratio into 60% will be definitely greater than 80%. So for state B, it is definitely true. Let's do the same thing for state C. For state C, 60% into female ratio, number of females divided by the urban population, 60%. So 60% into the number of females for C is 420 into 970 by 1970. Let's calculate by the calculator. How much is that? 420 into 970 by 1970. So this is 206.8. Okay, 206.8 divided by the urban population that is there. Urban population is how much? For C, it is 189. Is this greater than 80%? Again, I have to check whether this ratio is greater than 4 by 3. If it is greater than 4 by 3, then it is fine. If it is not greater than 4 by 3, then we are in trouble. So is this greater than 4 by 3? See, if I have to say this is divided by 3, it is 63. 63 into 4 would be 240 something. This is 206, so it's nowhere near 240. So I can say, no, it doesn't satisfy the given condition. So for C also, this condition is not met. Let's do the same for D. 60% of women. 60% of women, how many women are there? There are 350 women. 350 into the population is 958 divided by 1958. How many women are there in D? Let's calculate 350 into 958 divided by 1958. This is 171.24. So you have 171.24 women. And what is the urban population of this urban population is for D is 126. Is this greater than 80%? Again, this middle ratio has to be greater than 4 by 3. If I divide this by 3, how much is it? It is 42. No, yeah, 42. 42 into 4 is how much? 168. 171.24 is greater than 168. So this ratio is greater than 4 by 3. So 60% into a ratio greater than 4 by 3 will be more than 80%. So yes, for D it is true. For D again, this condition is being met. E, final value, that final this that I'm checking. 60% of women. How many women are there in E? You have the number of people are 640. The number of women are 990 divided by 1990. So what is the number of women? You have 318.39 women that are there. Divided by the urban population. How much is the urban population? 448 urban population. Is this greater than 80%? See, this ratio, forget greater than 4 by 3, it is less than 1. So multiplying this value by 60%, you will not get anything at 80%. You will get a value which is less than 60%. So for sure, E also does not satisfy the given criteria. Of the 5 states, B and D are the only ones which satisfy the criteria. So how many states satisfy this criteria? There are 2 states, B and D, which have this particular condition, which satisfy this particular condition. No one else satisfies the condition. Okay. Okay. So this is the last set of the day. This is very calculation intensive, and these kind of sets, what I would say is make the table wherever it is necessary, fill the table as you calculate. When you are like absolutely like at the wall, okay, I have to calculate, I have to use a calculator, then only you use the calculator. See, the calculator you would have on your phone, etc., is an easy calculator, okay? But the calculator in the CAT exam is such a slow calculator that it takes 1 second for each number. So if you do like 100 calculations, right, this set would take 15-20 minutes to solve. So you have to minimize each calculation that you do. So what you have to do? You have to do quick comparison. Which is the lowest fraction? By looking at it, you can figure out, array, this is the lowest fraction. By doing quick comparisons, you can eliminate options. By doing quick comparisons, you can reduce the number of calculations that you have to do. Where it is impossible, there use a calculator. But in all other cases, try to avoid using the calculator as much as possible, because that calculator is from the 1900s. It takes so much time to calculate, where you feel that it is such a waste of time. So I would say that being good in calculations, especially for the DI sets, is an important skill to have. Being able to compare fraction is an important skill to have, because it will help reduce the amount of time that you take to solve these kind of sets. So this was the last set of the day. It was a calculation intensive set, so it took some time for us to solve. Okay. Which one is it? Ma'am, what should be the average? Shubhang, 1.59. I think that point I said it already, it is greater. What should be the average time per set across different for like arrangements puzzles? See, I would say that if you take somewhere less than 15 minutes, it's a great set. It depends from exam to exam. in say CAT 2024, you had to do like 3 sets to 4 sets. Then you were supposed to take somewhere around 10 minutes per set. Then if you took 15 minutes, it was actually a bad set. If you consider like CAT 2023, okay, then if you took even 20 minutes per set, that's fine, because the sets were tougher sets. So it entirely depends on the kind of sets that are there. CAT 2025 also 20 minutes was fine because people did only 2 sets. Very few did 3 sets. If you're somebody who's looking at 99 percentile, you have to do 3 sets. There you have to try to do between 12 to 15 minutes. If you want something between 90 to 95 percentile in LRDI, you have to basically do 2 sets, and then even if you take 20 minutes per set, that is fine. If you want 80 percentile or like 80 to 90 percentile, one set plus a few extra questions is enough to get to that. So then you can take even 30 minutes. So a lot of people feel ki if I'm not able to do in 20 minutes, the like section is over. Nothing of that sort. I would say that irrespective of how much time it is taking, you have to basically respond to the difficulty of the section. If the section is tougher, take more time. Even if you're doing only one set, it is fine. What you have to try to do is make sure that that set is done properly, and then you have to go to a set where you can do individual questions. There'll be some kind of sets like quant puzzles, 2D LR puzzles, where you don't need to solve the whole set to get a few answers. You can get a few answers by solving 1-2 questions. Okay, you can solve individual questions. Even if you do one whole set plus 2 individual questions, you can get to above 80 percentile. So I would always say, just think of it in this way, that whatever is the time that is being taken is a dynamic variable depending on how much difficulty is there. A good attempt is of 2 sets in a normal year paper. A very good attempt is of 3 sets in a normal year paper. In a easy year paper, 4 sets are a very good attempt. But anywhere between 2 to 4 sets, I think that don't worry about it, don't get stressed. Try to do 2. If you get 3, you should be very happy. You should consider a bonus. If you get 4, you should be very happy. Okay. So this is today's stream. Okay. What about 99.7 percentile current? I would say that if you want anywhere above 99.7 percentile also, see, if you do 3 sets, see, the thing is that this LRDI, right, is a multimodal distribution. What do you mean by multimodal distribution? So you have, say, let's say this is around 50 percentile, okay? This is around 80 percentile. This is around 90 percentile. This is 95 percentile. This is 99 percentile, okay? And there is like 100 percentile. Where exactly is, how many sets is each kind of percentile? 50 percentile is actually at 0 marks. Half of the persons who are there are not able to solve any of the sets. So 50% is at 0 marks or less than 5 marks, okay? This is at 50 percentile. Then at 80 percentile, you have one set. So that is around 12 marks. You have the first 80 percentile that is there. 90 percentile is getting 8 questions right, or rather 7 questions right, because most of the people get 1 question out of 2 sets wrong. So 7 questions, that is 21 marks, minus 1 question wrong, so 20 marks. So around 20 marks, you have the second 80 percentile. This 95 percentile generally get 2 sets right, but that is 5 plus 4. And they generally get both of those questions right. So from 20 to anywhere between 26 to 28 would be 95 percentile. 99 percentile is those who get 3 sets correct, or 3 sets plus 1 correct, which you have 2 5-question set plus 1 4-question set. That will become 99 percentile. So that would be 14 questions correct. That would be around 42. Okay, 42 marks would be around this. If you get anything above 42, it will become 99 percentile. And over here, it is not like uniform. Okay, what you see is that here you have the highest distribution. Then you have like some people here, 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 here. But the highest distribution is near 0. Then you have at 12 marks with 1 set correct. Then you have at around 20 marks with 2 sets with some incorrect. Then you have at 26, 28 marks with 2 sets but with no incorrect. Then you have at like 3 sets with no incorrect, which is like 99.5 percentile plus. So all of those I feel is that the key thing that you have to remember is get to 2 sets with like 100% accuracy. You're already at 99 percentile. get to 3 sets with 99% accuracy, you will get like 99.9 percentile. Okay, so accuracy is the important thing. Okay, okay. So with that, we'll end today's session. It was fun to have all of you guys. And if you guys are looking for a way to prepare for CAT, if you want to see, if you want a structured way to prepare for CAT, do check out our course. We have 3 free CAT mocks that are live. If you guys have not started taking mock, please start now. A lot of people say that I'll start taking mocks once my syllabus is over. That is a wrong way to think about it. Mocks are basically diagnostic. They tell you where you stand, what your strengths and weaknesses are. They will direct your efforts. You will get to know, okay, I have to work harder in this section. I have to give more time to this section. You will get that idea only if you have taken mocks. So the first thing that you should do is take mocks. If you have not got mocks yet, there are 3 free CAT mocks that we have on Cracku.in. In addition to that, you should basically attempt all the previous year's papers from CAT 2020 onwards. CAT 2020 was basically the first time it became a 2-hour set. Before 2020, it was a 3-hour paper. So then you will not get the same feel that you need for like the current CAT format. So you should take it in the mock format from CAT 2020 onwards. We have like a lot of papers from 2020 to 2025 are 6 years. Into 3 slots, that is 18 papers are there. 18 mocks that you can take for free. All of the previous year's papers are completely free for all students. So there are basically 18 mocks that you can take. Plus these 3, there are 21 mocks that are available for free on Cracku.in. And you should take all of them. So please make sure that you start taking mocks regularly, you start solving previous year's papers questions regularly, because that is the important thing that separates people who get 80 percentile and those who get 95 percentile plus. The mocks are the difference. Okay, so with that, we'll end today's session. Thank you guys and see you next Saturday.